Hey, what's up, everybody? Tasteless here, bringing you the very first ever Hearthstone StarCraft crossover. Of course, I am joined with Artosis. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, I couldn't really be better. Two of my favorite games of all time, Hearthstone and StarCraft, having a collaboration here.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. And it's not just you and me. We are also joined with Trump and Day 9. Guys, how's it going?
Sweet. Oh my God, I'm so stoked to be here. Of course, StarCraft is in my name. That's SC.
There it is. You can see it right there on the graph.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I'm going to be taking on Day 9 in a 1v1.
I know. And honestly, the fact that I get to actually do the Zerg Swarm again in any game, magnifique. I'm thrilled.
It's so cool to see this collaboration, to see these two games come together. StarCraft's a really unique game and how the units operate, the strategies that you can employ when you're playing. And I think they did a great job at introducing these units into a card game like Hearthstone.
Yeah, actually, you and I were playing together earlier, and I was using, speaking of one-handed, the Protoss deck, and it was a lot of fun, man. To be able to power out some of these really big, strong units, you were winning, it looked great for you, and then I just brought online a carrier, and it felt exactly like carriers in StarCraft. I killed everything you had and did a lot of damage to you.
That's all right, but the incredible amount of value on the Terran side is here. We've got starships introduced in the last expansion here. We got even more of it. You can launch so many starships here. You will be overwhelmed with value.
So we're going to be doing a show match with you two, duking it out. 5 games, all these different decks. What are you guys thinking before we start this match?
Well, I am going to overwhelm Day 9 here with sheer amounts of value. There's going to be so many starships set your way from the Terran warrior I've got. I think I'm going to build at least 5 starships, and then each time I click that launch starship button, I might even copy that starship. It's a mech. So pretty sick value there. We've got good old handlock being brought back. There's a lot of complementing themes here. And then finally, we've got a combo Protoss where I'm going to summon the big bad Colossus and then zap, the twin laser of the Colossus.
I hope you actually do that next to me, right on the laptop.
I will. What do you have for me?
Okay, so I got a Protoss, a Zerg, and a Terran deck. My Protoss deck is just ramping, so that way I can get out carriers and immortals, and that's it. I probably don't even have enough win conditions in the deck. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I ramp a lot. For the Terran list, it's kind of like a mid-range aggro starship list, which is one of the sort of new features of this mini set. It's not just constantly building up to one single big launch like in the previous Great Dark Beyond set. Here, aggro Terran all the way. And the Zerg deck is the one I'm most excited about because it is all about slow, steady grinding down with lots of small, swarmy Zerg units.
All right, well, I think we're ready to get this going, Artosis. Should we send these guys over to play this match?
Oh, I can't wait to see it, man. I want to see if the balance holds true from StarCraft 2 into Hearthstone.
All right, guys, we're going to be starting our show match. Trump versus Day 9, 5 games. Let's get into it. It's going to be 5 games total. Keep in mind, this is not like a best of 5. So if somebody goes 3-0, we're still going to be playing the next 2 games.
Oh, believe in your brother more than that, Tasteless. Beautiful stage that they're in front of, and we're going to start off with some Shaman here for Day 9 going up against Trump's Mage. I'm very excited to see this. It's going to be Protoss for Trump, and it's going to be Terran for Day 9.
Yes, this is a matchup that we've casted a lot of in our original StarCraft. We're going to be doing it now here in Hearthstone. I got to say right off the bat, man, Trump's hand not looking very good. No playable cards for the foreseeable future.
No, when I was playing you, that's what my hand looked like. Just so you know, that game that you beat me, that's what my hand looked like. A bunch of 3, 4, 7, that type of thing. So not looking good. And in fact, he's gonna have the very strong Mage ping perhaps there. Or no, he just skips it. Okay, that's some great value there from Trump.
Yes. Now, Day 9, on the other hand, he's got quite a lot of choices here. So we're going to be seeing the missile pod thrown down here. 1 damage dealt to Trump.
Yeah, the missile pod coming out, a structure in StarCraft known as a missile turret, but going to be able to attack here.
And we're finally now at turn 3, so there's going to be a lot of playable options here. I think we could see him go with the Void Ray right now.
I wonder about that. Like, he has a few different options, but none of them seem to really match up. I don't know about you, Tasteless, but when I play Hearthstone, if I have something that deals 5 damage and the minion has 3 health, I really don't want to use that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You're like, that's too much.
Those are different numbers.
So, empty board for the time being here. It does look like we're going to have another draw coming in here. Basically, Trump just saying, I want to keep the board clean for the time being. And so we're going to have the second drop here.
Yeah, he has a Raven out now. Very nice to see. Spellcaster in StarCraft 2, but going to be dealing a little bit of damage here as well. Chrono Boost coming out. Very important ability. Of course, we get a charged Zealot out here as well to take down that missile pod.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit of a board clear here. I think Trump definitely getting into a better position. The hand's getting pretty full, by the way, as it goes back over to Day 9's turn.
Yeah, I feel like neither of them had the greatest opening hands. Day 9's definitely a little bit better there. And we'll continue. The Ghost is actually really cool and really strong in this.
Yeah, he just goes ahead and drops that. You can see some more damage dealt here. The Zealot's going to remain on the board. Going back over to Trump's turn here. I was talking about that Void Ray earlier. I don't know if we're going to have it this time around. Definitely a lot of different choices as far as what they could go with.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to play the Tide Pools here. So, you know, trying to make something kind of happen for himself, getting into that deck a little bit more. I guess it's a good thing that they both had slow starts, so we can really get to see a lot of these different factional cards.
Yeah, it's so fun that Blizzard's actually combined these unique StarCraft units into a game like Hearthstone, and I think they did it really, really well.
Yeah, I actually really like what they've done as far as a lot of the stats go. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but like for instance, the Zealots being like a 3/4 that has charge. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's like exactly what a Zealot is from StarCraft 1.
Exactly, or the stats on the carrier are kind of perfect as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So it wasn't just the application, but everything that they did to put this in here, I think was really good. So we're gonna have a second Ghost come down here. Is this gonna it zaps the lowest cost card there. And so, I mean, things are starting to look a little bit better here for Day 9.
Yeah, he's building out a pretty good board. We'll see if he attacks with that Ghost this turn. Trump just kind of looking through his hand, trying to figure out what he's going to do here. Not looking super strong on the board.
Yeah, he does have some Colossi that he could drop here. He's a ways away from having that opportunity, but that would clear the board pretty easily.
Yeah, he was actually talking about that earlier, that his game plan is going to be casting as many Protoss spells as he can to get those Colossi deal a lot of damage. Oh God, this is absolutely crazy. This is going to help him out a lot. The Puzzle Master Khadgar is like, we were watching them play before, and this guy really alters the game.
Going back over here to Day 9's turn, he's got to figure out how he's going to deal with this next move. And he's going to take his time. We're kind of in the middle of the game so far here. A lot of decisions as far as how he wants to try to approach this. What do you think, Artie?
I want to see him start just kind of going to face a little bit more, to be perfectly honest. It's been such a slow start from Trump, but knowing the type of player that Trump is, the type of deck he has, you might get like too far behind if the game goes long, you know?
Yeah, we do have Counterspell, so he's going to have to send something out to eventually bait that out here. He does. Okay, Counterspell is used. Day 9 is not happy.
Trump just laughing and laughing. But okay, he will at least trade one of the two Ghosts, the other one going to that face, taking a lot of damage onto Trump.
Yeah, a lot on the board here for Day 9, so Trump's going to have to figure out how to clear this. He is at only 20 HP. He could drop Artanis, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Okay.
Yeah, I love Artanis. This is something I was able to use against you earlier when we were playing. The fact that he brings that to these Zealots, and you know, I love the hero ability as well with the Divine Shield and the plus attack.
Yeah, the Insidious is going to stay on the board for the time being, but yeah, that's a great way to take control of the game again here. And we're going to see which of these spells he's going to be picking here. And he's going to go and try to just get a little bit more damage out of that. I was wondering if that was going to be the move. Counterspell.
Oh, another counterspell. Another counterspell.
Day 9's got the coin. He could just throw the coin out here and burn through the counterspell if he can predict that.
Sasquatch. I love the vibe of Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Man. Look at that. In day 9, building a fearsome board right now. But, you know, it's kind of funny to watch these guys play. We've known them for so long.
Yeah.
And, like, their complete insistence to just play the game how they want to play it. You know what I mean? Where I'm, like, watching... Like Trump, for instance, attack into these giant minions with his. He's like, I must clear the board. I'm like, you know, there are other ways to play, right?
You know, when we were kids, Sean tried to get me into CCGs.
Yeah.
And we ended up having a huge argument because he had a wall and he wanted to block my flying creature with the wall. And I'm like, it's a wall.
Yeah.
My thing flies. It's going to fly over it. And he's like, no, in the rules of the game, you can block with the wall. And I'm like, I don't want to play this game anymore. But then when Hearthstone came out, I actually ended up getting into it because, you know, CCGs can be confusing because you have to know so many rules,
Yeah,
right?
that's
but
true.
When you're in the confines of a game, it's totally different.
Yeah, yeah. I do
won't
like
let
that
you
about
do
Hearthstone.
things.
It doesn't
Yeah.
let you go off the rails.
You can't make an illegal move.
Oh, well, to be fair, Tasteless, I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone recently, and there's been a lot of moves that I'm pretty sure are illegal.
They
my
feel
opponents
pretty
have been doing.
illegal.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you cleared my board and got like 7 minions out with a combined attack of 40 that turn? That couldn't be right.
A little bit more clearing going on here. Trump's turn yet again. Almost at 10 mana now. It's been a bit of a back and forth. We had another possible counter spell here, but he did not end up going for that. I was going to say.
Counter spells for days.
Yeah.
The Frostbolt coming out, going to finally start clearing. Hey, look at that. He mostly cleared, and suddenly you look at these hands. Look at how many cards Trump has right now, and he has those double Colossi. That's going to be something that he really wants to use. Oh, is that a Battlecruiser?
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and bring that down now. And trying to take control of this game for the time being. Sean, I think with a little bit of a weaker hand.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, calling in that starship. And the fact that it's a Battlecruiser is just perfect.
Yeah.
You know, that is the ultimate Terran ship in StarCraft. So great to see that out on the board. I'm excited.
Baits out that counter spell here. And right now, Trump with nothing on the table for the time being.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be, well, I guess he can't actually land the Colossus just yet. Are we going to go with the 6 mana card?
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure out for him. Can he? Look, if you use the shield battery, you can like go ahead and throw a Colossi down, perhaps something like that. But no, not going to go that way.
So here we go. Going to drive right into that SCV. And
there goes your starship.
There's
Well, that's kind of the
Yeah,
nice thing is you can actually, with the Terran decks, get like a lot of starships out.
oh my god. Brutal. The whole board gets cleared here. Day 9 loving it.
Oh, please play Jim,
Jim
Raynor.
Raynor, do it,
Please play Jim
please.
Raynor. It's like, no, not
He's
gonna
going
do
to
it.
pocket that for now.
Oh, Tonto.
And-
Very exciting. But yeah, look, he's going to go ahead and launch a starship here again.
Ooh. He could actually use Rising Waves here.
Yeah.
That would set up pretty nicely and clear everything.
Well, right now, like, I feel like you want to do something with the Colossus, right? Like, you could play the photon cannon into the Colossus, I believe here, or the shield battery, rather. Because it would reduce that cost by 2, and then that's another spell, so it deals
Yeah.
more damage across the board.
He's going to go with Discover? Okay, so which one is he going to pick? Really high mana cards, actually. So Trump needs to choose wisely here. Trump is going through his deck a little bit faster than Day 9 is.
His health is kind of low. I'm actually like a little bit nervous about him. You know, he's like sitting here casting
Yeah.
spells all day. They aren't really Protoss spells to help out that Colossus that much, but yeah, gets a few water elements out, and I mean, I guess he froze the
Oh.
Shaman, so
Yeah. But, I mean, there's still plenty on the board. You know, you're getting close to getting knocked out here if you could get to that 0. So he's going to use Shield Battery here. He's going to get a little bit of armor that should give him a nice cushion at least to survive the next round.
yeah, photon cannon as well. Does give some more starship pieces here to Day 9.
Going to go with the freeze, takes out the taunt. Back over to Day 9 now. Still got that Jim Raynor card, Artie.
I know. I'm waiting for it. The Jim Raynor card is really strong too, relaunching all of your starships.
Yeah.
It really goes well with like what they've done basically with the Terran cards. The fact that you're launching like multiple starships in a game for cheaper.
Yeah.
You can suddenly, it like makes sense to cast quite a few of them. And Siege Tank deployed, gonna deal a lot of damage out there. 1 in 9! Oh
That's
my gosh.
crazy. So that carried right over. That's gonna put Trump at 12 HP, now 9.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot he still needs to clear here. The Siege Tank is protected by the taunt. He does have 2 level 9 Colossi still.
Yeah, he's still not casting. Like, I'm not, he's really just trying to like make them into some sort of big combo for himself, I think, here. But like, if I know anything about StarCraft, I know it's get the Colossus out as quickly as possible to control the field, okay?
Yeah, I do like the way that they approach the Colossus for this, that it's going to have that ability to kind of clear everything that's weaker, just like it is in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
So right now, Trump on the ropes, barely hanging on. Gonna go ahead and freeze the tank, armor up.
Oh, okay. So finally gonna use the twin blades. And again, I really do like this. The fact that it gives the divine shield is super, super cool. So good for clearing stuff.
And he's gonna go ahead and send that out. Armor up a little bit more. And we've got a 0-cost Void Ray.
You do get that +2/+2 for it. And it does have that rush. So yeah, now he can kill the siege tank as well.
Yeah. And I think that's what he's going to go for.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised he went for the spell power. I was surprised he double freeze there. I was like, whoa, you may as well freeze the totem, right?
And at this point in time, Day9's hand is looking pretty small. I mean, he's got more cards he can draw into, but he's not going to have a lot of choices with each passing turn unless he can fill that hand up more.
Dude, he's still got Jimmy, okay?
Yeah.
This is the hero of the StarCraft universe, all right, Tasteless? Like, here we go. There it is. Relaunch every starship that you've launched. Day9, just so happy with this.
Oh my God.
Look at that.
So many more now on the board.
So many Battlecruisers. It's a whole fleet, Tasteless. It's like the beginning of Brood War, man. The UED is here to help us.
Okay, Trump looking to maybe use that Colossus now. We've been talking about it the whole game. Not one has been put on the board yet. We've got a lot of blockage here with Divine Shield. I think he could
Dude,
get a board.
You have to play the Colossus.
I think you got to go for it, right? So here we go.
Look at this. It's going to clear everything.
I love that every time when Trump either talks about or actually puts the Colossus on the board, he waves his arms around.
You see Day9's face during all that? Oh my God.
When Trump waves his arms around, that's his Zorro move. You know when Zorro puts the Z on you? That's what Trump does with the Colossus.
More like Trump ZC, am I right?
So now, Day9, frozen 11 HP. Gonna go ahead and drop the starport.
Okay, well, I mean, the starport does make some starship pieces, but it's not really that strong this late into the game.
It's like something's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna have 1 card in hand, 2 taunts on the board.
I tell you, this is a good match so far. This is a bit of like a slobber knocker.
Okay, and what a card to draw.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Yeah. And from here, it feels like Day9's gonna have to top deck.
Yeah, he's
And
dead,
even then,
man, isn't he?
I don't know if
I
there's
think
any
the
way.
Colossus just, does it clear it or just barely not? Oh, no, it does. There you
that's
go.
gonna-
And the second swipe will just get him down to 1 or whatever.
And we get some
no.
armor that
Okay,
drops him
yeah.
down to,
Oh,
I
that's
guess,
right.
5 HP total.
That's right, that's right.
So now he's at 2 HP, he's frozen. What is the card he's gonna get?
Things are looking grim. Hey, that's not a bad draw.
Oh, no, I don't think... yeah, I guess he's got 1 taunt, so he can block, at least for a little bit.
Yeah.
He can use the tank to kill the
Colossus,
Colossus,
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right, gonna make another starship. It's not the most impressive starship that we've seen at 2-1. It's a little bit unfortunate, but what can you do?
Okay.
The siege tank doing what siege tanks do best, clears that Colossus out.
Hey, man, 9 HP now for Trump.
Yeah.
This is getting close. The problem is that, like, Day9 doesn't even have a hand.
Yeah,
He's twiddling
that
his
is
thumbs
true.
right now.
That
He's
is
got
true.
no cards. All we have to do is see what the deck's going to give us.
But you got to basically clear him out, right? Or otherwise he's going to use Stim Pack and maybe end up killing you.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Saw Trump debating maybe using Warp Gate. He's hanging on to the rising waves here.
Well, he's got two of them,
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
he can definitely clear stuff.
Yeah.
And I think like clearing, if your opponent has nothing in hand, just clear everything out,
Yeah.
and you know, maybe the next turn you'll be all right. Oh, conundrum indeed.
Trump taking his time right now. Trying to figure out the best way to get all this stuff off the board with as little as possible.
I tell you, if Trump wins from here, like day 9, all this stuff out there. Oh, okay. Oh, so this was the
yeah.
plan.
Okay,
Okay,
so yeah, he'll draw a few more cards. He's
And then
got the Zealot.
maybe use the hero ability here.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, he's going to use the hero ability. That's going to work out nicely. The siege tank is gone. He's going to do 1 damage to drop the armor to 6. And what is the card going to be? It's all going to be about whatever day 9 draws, and if it can somehow MacGyver him out of this pretty impossible situation.
Yeah, it's a rough spot, but Arcanite Defense Crystal pretty good. And okay, so he has a couple taunts. He has some armor gain that can occur. You know what? This is actually reminding me of like just a straight up Terran versus Protoss game in StarCraft. Like I'm watching the Protoss with infinite resources, overwhelming the brave Terran player who's just scrapping together any defense that they can make. You can tell Day 9 has played a stronger game with a harder deck, and it's not really working
He
out
didn't
for him.
cheese it all. He
No.
played an honest game, and
Honorable
at
play.
the end, there were just 3 different powerful techs Protoss could go to close it out.
Yes.
So another board clear here, 12 armor, but no cards in the hand here for day 9. And I feel like at this point in time, this is like a choose your own adventure for Trump on how he wins the game. you
Yeah,
know?
he's got very much going on right now.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we can get another starship.
He's going to drop the missile pod and going to get rid of that divine shield on the 3/3.
Well, that's something, I guess.
Yeah. Might as well just pull the starship out. Hey.
Yeah, no,
another
that's
round.
not bad.
Actually, this is pretty good.
Yeah. He's making it work, and the stim packs. I mean, he's powering it up a little bit. Look at this. He's got 12 armor. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I tell you, this is quite back and forth.
Yeah, this is a
nice
pretty
one.
dramatic first game. So we've got a 0 mana photon cannon here. Now
Look at
remember that Trump is going to run out of cards coming up here.
Yeah,
he
I
doesn't
guess
have
you're
that much
right.
left in the deck.
You know what's funny here, by the way, Tasteless? Like,
Yeah.
I'm watching Trump reread his cards in his hand. This is exactly what I do too. It's
Yeah.
like I'm looking at. I already know I can't really do
Yeah.
anything, and I just reread the cards. Maybe I missed something
Yeah,
here.
like hold on a second, and then the rope pops up. Okay. Which one does he pick?
Yeah.
Trump really thinking this over here. There's a decent amount on the board right now for day 9. If he can have like a stable, maybe 2 or 3 turns here, maybe he can do it. Both these guys are very low on HP. They're armored up, but I mean, you're basically one, turn away where you don't have anything to sponge up damage and you can be
Yeah.
knocked out, right?
I think Trump just has to kind of gamble here. Oh no! I thought he was going to take the spell one. Okay. Well, a random elemental companion.
Yeah. Here we go.
I don't know if that's
I
going
don't
to do
know,
it,
man.
Tasteless.
Yeah. Okay, he's got to pick a spell now. Trump really taking his time here.
Yeah, he doesn't have too much left over. Like you could, use your twin blades, pop that with the photon cannon and everything. Maybe, kill off some of his minions, but his health is really small. He has to be very careful about this. Ooh.
Another Rising Waves here.
Is that the right play?
I mean, it would seem like he would be able to
Yeah,
at least get a wipe on behind the taunt, clear the Divine Shield.
Yeah. If you could, like, just get rid of the Divine Shield and then utilize that, then I guess you get another board clear, huh?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite the expert that I used to be at Hearthstone.
You're not
but
quite the world champion you used to be.
I can add numbers together still reasonably well, at least.
All right, so he's going to get a little buff over there. Does not attack in, ends the turn.
Huh. I'm surprised about that. I thought for sure he'd like get rid of the shield and get in there. And
It seems like he wants to hang on to that Rising Waves a little bit longer here.
maybe get the next card that comes out.
Yeah.
Dude, this is always the most painful thing in the world when you're just drawing every turn.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there's going to be a clear there, no more taunt. That's going to be 9 damage to the face. Alexstrasza comes out.
Ooh. I love it when Alexstrasza comes out and it's a heal card.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, well, that's not what I wanted to do.
You use Alexstrasza yourself, you heal yourself, and then you lose the game later.
Yeah, I think if you're going to target yourself with that, it should cost 8, so at least you can use your hero ability and not feel like an idiot, you know? Just speaking from experience here, guys. Sorry.
Okay, so, you know, Day9's continued to accumulate a decent presence on the board. I mean, with this amount of damage here, I think if Trump isn't able to stabilize and get something to kind of get in the way of all this damage, it could actually be a Day9 win.
Well, it certainly looks like it right now.
Yeah.
How many cards does he have
There's
left?
4 cards left in the deck for Trump.
Yeah, they're a ton for
And
Day9.
Day9 has 10.
Wow.
So I think as long as Day9 can just kind of hang on, which it seems like he's basically done. Oh, that's a pretty big drop.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Tyrion.
Yeah,
Right.
the Tyrion card is.
Oh, and Prophet Velen. These are cards I really remember. These are cards I used to play. Oh, my gosh. All right, we got some real style now.
Okay, so he's going to run the 4/4 in there, and then Rising Waves.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad
bad.
at all. Still a 4/3 here. A lot of armor now for Day9.
Draw 2 Terran cards. That's actually very nice.
Yeah, well, that's like the card he probably needed for a while now
Yeah,
to just get
yeah.
something in his deck.
Although, to be fair, the stuff he's putting out, it's like, okay, we have a starport. Yeah, you can still make some of these little minions,
Right.
I guess. So that's decent at least. And you get your stim pack off. And
Okay, Day9 looking really good.
yeah.
You
Can
can see.
Trump clear the board again?
Yeah, that's going to be the question. I don't feel like any of these cards are immediately helpful for this situation.
No.
There's so much damage on the board.
Oh, I feel like I would just, I would want at least a couple taunts out here to have any sort of
Yeah.
chance. The problem is the stim pack is just going to make him be able to trade anything, you
Right,
know?
right. So he's going to go for a freeze here. And at least try to stall progress on the board.
Oh, I don't think that this really does it, huh? 2 mana
Does he
left,
play the
not a
cheese
lot
this
of
turn?
options. Day9 is, look at Day9, look,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm going to win, I'm going
He's
to
like,
win,
I
I'm going to
can't
win,
believe
I'm going to
I'm
win,
gonna
I'm
win
going to win.
I just had to weather the storm
Yeah.
and let Trump burn through his deck.
I may be wearing a dad sweater, but I still have a young heart. I can still compete.
Right now, Day9 is wearing a great therapist sweater. When
Yeah,
I look
he
at
is.
that, I want to tell him about all my problems. Okay, so it's going to be his turn now. And
Oh,
this is going to be a
man.
lot of damage.
Yeah. I just love the idea of the medevac and the Viking just going in and clearing everything because of all the stim packs they've
Yeah.
gotten. Oh, man.
Yeah, it just
And
seems like
that's it, isn't it?
or
very close
almost,
to.
Almost
Very
there.
close to.
Yeah, if there was like one
Sorry,
other
I've
high
always
value.
been bad at calculating lethal. I'm like, 7 is the same as 14.
I remember when I first started playing Hearthstone, that was one of the first things I had to realize is like I need to always calculate if I can get lethal or not.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just get so caught up with trading minions on the board, you're like, wait a minute, wait.
As
What
I
is
get-
the objective of this game?
As I get older, I find myself not wanting to count all the way. Like, I'll add up like 3 of the 5 numbers, and I'll be like, yeah, that's probably
That's
it.
probably it. They got 1 HP left over
I'm
and
like,
I lose.
you can't add a 5 and a 6 to that, you know? Because that's like, oh man, where do we end up?
Okay, so Tyrion's on the board. That's going to be a nice taunt. A lot to kind of hack and saw your way through. 6 more armor added. And it's going to be Day9 back to the small deck here.
does he have enough to break through? Because you gotta, you know, get rid of the shield. You gotta get rid of the taunt, and then you gotta attack. All right, so sacks another starship. This is like the most starships I've ever seen in game one.
This is an insanely epic game for game one right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna call
Another
in.
starship.
Here we go.
Look at the amount of taunts you get too. The stim pack and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
So
look at this.
I guess you just trade into Tyrion here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Summons another Marine, buffs everything. That's the strongest SCV we've ever seen in StarCraft, a 7-3 SCV.
Seriously. So
It's already
beefy.
unfair they can repair each other, man.
Dude.
Now you get that strong?
You used to always call them linebackers. He's even more than that now.
I mean, such a full board here for day 9.
If Trump could just clear it
Yeah,
one more time.
if he
As
had
if
any way.
Yeah. As if the amount of times he's cleared
Yeah.
it hasn't been enough
Yeah.
already. There should be more than 2 rising waves per deck.
Yeah, Trump really stuck right now. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with day 9 kind of hanging on
Yeah.
and basically outlasting.
Oh, this makes sense. Okay, gets a copy of that for some freezing abilities. I like it. It makes sense.
Now, after this turn, that's gonna be one more card to draw here, and then Trump's out of cards.
Okay. Well, he's still got enough cards in his hand that if he can just barely weather this storm, like I think he's still kind of okay. Okay, yeah, freeze
Yeah,
that.
definitely freeze that.
But that's still 8 plus 3. I don't know. It's probably lethal.
Okay, so he's gonna freeze the 8-1 Viking. Makes sense.
I bet he was
Open
wishing right now that he had his mage power, man, with all these 1
Oh,
health.
yeah, right.
Oh, man.
It'd be perfect to just zap down a couple of these 1 HP units.
So wait, can't you just stim pack? Oh my. Look at Dad laughing about that. Oh. Look at the look on Trump's face.
Yeah.
He's like, I wonder if he'll remember to stim pack. Oh, he did. Oh, no.
Okay, and that is going to put him at 3 HP. The last card is drawn. It's a warp gate.
Dude, these warp gates have not
This
done
is where
anything
you
for him.
Alex Straza heal yourself and then lose the game the next turn.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, nothing really left over for him. He put up an epic fight here, but it's not going to be enough.
It was a good move. Day 9 basically waited long enough to get Jim Raynor, or wait to get Jim Raynor, and then basically just last through the hero ability.
Yeah, no, the stim packs really did a good job. The fact that he kept on getting the Marines out made it really difficult for Trump to get any more damage.
Seeing what card we can get here.
Okay,
Yeah,
hold on.
let's
what
see
do
what
we
he gets.
have? A polymorph. Okay, and
I don't think that's anything that's going to be enough.
oh, silence all
Yeah.
enemy minions. Well,
But
it
it
does
would
take
also
away
draw
their
a card,
attacks,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's all going to be about trying to get some kind of spell that gives you removable or something to freeze them and buy some time.
He doesn't have the mana for it anymore, you know?
Yeah.
He just
So
keeps
he basically keeps trying to
he
just
keeps
drawing
spending
cards. Yeah.
yeah.
So he's got 1 mana.
An error?
An error? All right. Chose to
And
go
I
with
believe that's lethal on both the minion and on Trump himself.
Yes. All right, guys, so that does it for game 1. Right now, Day 9 barely surviving with a 1-0 lead in this 5-game show match. We'll be going to game 2 in just a sec.
How did you recover from that? 2 Colossus!
Dude,
Zap, 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 zap!
I mean, you got to do the stuff.
Yes!
Oh my God, let me tell you. Jim Raynor, though, that is an insanely good
That
hero.
was insane.
Oh my God, that is just
That was so much value.
That was so much value.
I used to be a Paladin main, and then I'd be so excited to upgrade my hero power, and that's an upgraded hero power.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh, and like the amount of like just Starship Terran pieces, and then the recursion from Jimmy, and then like the continued threats.
I'm in complete shambles after that, Raynor.
Now, I will say, I'm also relieved to have 1 win on the board, because now I can just lose out and it's fine. It's fine to lose
Gonna get 3-0'd.
endlessly. Hey, 3-0'd, this isn't a best of 5, this is 5-game
That's
series.
right. All right.
You could go 0-5.
Oh.
All right, everybody, we're back. We're going into game 2 of the Day 9 versus Trump 5-game show match.
Yeah, Day 9 was able to take down Trump in game 1. What a crazy back and forth game, though, really. I was
Yeah.
thinking it was over time and time again, partially due to my own bad math skills, but also just the looks on their faces.
I mean, about halfway through that game, Day 9 looked totally deflated and defeated. He was drawing one card at a time, managed to get Jim Raynor out, stemmed his way to victory as Trump burned through his last card. Now we go into game 2, and this is going to be Trump, this time around with Warlock Zerg cards.
Oh.
And it's going to be Day 9 here as the Druid with the Protoss cards.
Yeah. Yeah, and does get that spawning pool out right away, so we might be seeing a Zerg rush. Tasteless.
Time.
The most iconic thing possibly
Yes.
for people who don't watch StarCraft.
The thing
for
that's-
people who do something that we hate to play against.
There are people that learn to love StarCraft and play it for the rest of their lives, and then there are the ones that got Zerg rushed and went on to other games. And that may be what happens here now.
Yeah, well said.
So going into turn 2 right now, Trump trying to decide what to do. Wouldn't be shocked if he threw the spine crawler down, but there's probably a lot of ways to play this turn. Goes with a life tap instead.
Yeah. Are you really surprised? I mean,
Yeah.
it's Trump. He's not going to play anything on curve. He's just going to use hero powers and things like that. Now, looking over at Day 9's side, you know, he was talking before that this is like a ramping Druid deck, right? So he's got all these great things that reduce costs of these Protoss minions, which are like the Warp Gate, Construct Pylons, Photon Cannon. You look at his hand, it's Immortal and Carrier. And both those are big and scary if you get them out.
Yeah, the carriers are pretty insane. I really like the way that they implemented this into Hearthstone. You know, what makes StarCraft great is the little interactions that you have with the different units and the strategies that come from behind that. I think they did such a good job kind of honoring StarCraft by bringing these units into the game and then doing it justice.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. Now, a couple Zerglings going to come out, always hatching in pairs, of course, and already kind of flooding that board a bit.
Yeah, Day 9's turn comes in here and he goes ahead and throws down the Warp Gate. Now, he's going to be eating a decent amount of damage, but I don't think he has too much to worry about.
Yeah, it's not that much as of yet.
Okay,
Another spine crawler. in
yeah,
there.
2 spine crawlers in hand right now.
Well, it is early game, right? Zerglings and spine crawlers are about all you get in the early game, anyways. So.
Yeah, this is true. It's truly looking like an early game PvZ right now. Second spine crawler thrown down on the board. Day 9 not looking happy about that. Already Trump with a lot of presence here. Going back over into Day 9's turn, he's going to have 5 mana. He does go for Magical Dollhouse again to put that down.
Yeah, you can get a lot of spell damage. It's not going to maybe do that much. Well, I guess it does charge up his Photon Cannon. I didn't even think of that. See, I don't think of Photon Cannons as a spell. that's the real problem here. I
You
look
think
at
of it
that
as
and
a
I'm like,
cheese.
yeah, no, Photon Cannons, like that's a structure, my
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
Like, that's a location.
I see Photon Cannons attack and I go, okay, so I guess you never learned how to play the game, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so turn 5 now for Trump. Goes ahead and throws down another taunt. Day 9's going to need to stabilize coming up here. The damage is really starting to pile on.
I think he's going to be just fine. He can use that Warp Gate again and maybe throw down the Immortal.
Yeah, I think so.
And the thing is, if you pay extra for the Immortal, dude, look at how big this is going to be. An 8/16 if he pays that 4, or 10/16.
10/16.
I can't
Math
do
is
math,
hard.
dude. Oh my god. I literally can't add 2 5s together. This is actually, I'm beginning to become a little bit embarrassed. If my kids watch this, you're gonna be like, Daddy, how do you not know that? I know that. I'm 5.
Oh, well, math is hard, man.
I'm like, but if there were 2 of you, you'd only be 8.
So, I mean, right now, Trump just needs to figure out what is the most effective way to get rid of this Immortal. Divine Shield on there, super buffed with attack and HP. He's continuing to just draw in here, man.
That might be the most accurate card that is in this set of StarCraft. The fact that it comes out with Divine Shield and does 10 damage when it hits you, that's like exactly the feel playing against Immortals gives you. You're like, oh, so I can't hurt this thing. Okay, that's nice.
He just needs a Warp Prism where he can pick it back up and put it in his hand and then drop it again.
Exactly, exactly.
So he gets rid of the Divine Shield. And I think he's basically trying to figure out, do I just wait and kind of play into the next couple hands?
You can't deal 16 damage. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
With a Zergling? Like, come on. The Spine Crawler is just going to get run over, which, again, is very lore accurate to StarCraft. You don't make spines to stop that. And Artanis coming out already.
Wow, okay. That's going to give him the 2, 3, 4 Zealots.
Oh my gosh. Is Day9 just the greatest gamer?
He might be the greatest gamer of all time. They might have to build statues about this gamer. So already, I think Day9 in a very comfortable spot. Trump, I believe, 10 cards in hand right now.
Man.
Looking to have a lot of different opportunities here. That Immortal is going to be cleaned off the board, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to clear things. Well, okay, he throws down Kerrigan, so he's going to get the Brood Queens, which is really big. Those things are awesome. Then 3 damage across, so he clears the board there as well. Really, really good. And yeah, those Brood Queens are so sick, man. I was using those against you earlier when we were playing.
Yeah, they're really good. He's going to have to empty his hand out a little bit if he's going to fully take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So he goes ahead and just uses the coin. Basically makes some room. Goes for consume here.
Oh, okay.
That's going to destroy some durability.
Yeah.
But with these Brood Queens, you just want to make sure you're getting enough where you can draw from your deck and then draw from them as well and not burn cards.
Yeah, the Brood Queens just like give you a larva, and every turn it just randomly turns into a different Zerg minion. So it's just like you're gaining a ton having a couple of those guys out there.
And once you get late into the game, I mean, it's a very swarmy Zerg style of play. You're just dropping a lot on the board, constantly causing headaches, and a lot of times it's very difficult for the opposing player to really get control of the game again.
You know, I'm finding as we sit here and cast this Tasteless, I'm a very emotional Hearthstone caster because, like, I was sure that Day9 had this game already, and now I was sure that Trump just had it when he got out Kerrigan, but now we have a carrier out there, and I know just how strong that is.
Yeah, the carriers are crazy good.
Oh my gosh.
Swipe is going to do 6 damage and wipe out one of those. And look at this. Now the interceptors are out.
Carriers are so crazy. And look at that. Yeah, the interceptors just attack random stuff. So he's cleared the board. He's the one out now with carriers. And it's like, what do you do against this?
You know, it's funny. This game is similar to the last game, just as far as hand size go and kind of where we're at. So, I mean, look, Day9's looking really strong right now, but he doesn't have a whole lot to play with here if he can't get something that's going to draw him a lot more cards. I mean, right now Trump has a lot in his hand and a lot of different ways to approach this. Goes for a Lurker.
Okay. Well, Lurker's definitely one of the scarier units in StarCraft, but we'll see how much that's able to actually affect this position for him. Going to get out another couple Zerglings.
And this may be the first time I get to see a Zergling kill an interceptor. That's exciting. You don't even see carriers in a PvZ normally, but now we got this, and we got Zerglings taking the interceptors out.
That's true. No Scourge in this game, Tasteless. How are you going to get rid of that thing, man? So he uses Kerrigan's ability, and that's a really, really good board clear, as we can see there. But pretty much out of mana here. It looks like he will trade a little bit and get some extra damage from that Lurker, since it is the Zerglings going down.
Okay. It's going to be a 9 HP carrier for the time being. No more spells that can be cast right now here for Trump, so the carrier is going to stay in the game a little bit longer.
Dude, the carrier, when it gets 2 turns, is like pretty absurd.
Yeah.
The thing is, you shouldn't even play anything else this turn. You should just chill.
Yeah.
Just let the interceptors do their job.
Yeah, I mean, with every passing turn, those interceptors give you so much value. So he's going to give that carrier the +1 and the Divine Shield.
And starting to
and
go
body
to face
slam.
a little bit.
I've never seen a carrier body slam, but apparently it can attack too. Here come those interceptors. And I mean, dude, this is getting bad right now.
Yeah.
Trump's Kerrigan at 14 HP. And I just don't know if he's going to be able to get control of the board here. I mean, Day 9, like you were saying, he doesn't really need to even play too many more cards here.
Yeah,
this
the
is
carrier
starting
does
to snowball.
everything for you.
Yeah.
The carrier, you know, I always like to liken it to, it's like a flying base. Like, it's got so much value in it. And they really, like, especially these Protoss cards, I'm like, oh my gosh, it just really gives you the feel that you have playing against these units in StarCraft, where the carrier comes out and is just destroying everything. And it's like, you're getting rid of the interceptors, but they just build them again, Tasteless. It's not an issue.
I think he's going to throw the Brood Queen down again. There's a lot, you know, at this point in time, he needs targets, right? When the interceptors pop out, he needs to basically have somewhere to draw the interceptors away from him, because otherwise this game is going to end. He gets the 2 Zerglings out, and that's going to be a really nice distribution of damage that takes the interceptors out. 2/7 carrier on the board. Looks like he has 4 damage that he could have had on that carrier. I think it makes sense to not waste those Zerglings again. You need those targets out there.
I'd agree.
He also does have lifesteal available, so he could start to you know, boost his health quite a bit.
Well, you know, when the interceptors come out, you're probably going to gain a bunch of life from that. So Trump may be starting to come back into this game a little bit, but another Immortal going to be coming out here.
Wow. And I mean, talk about the perfect combo from Day 9's perspective. A 10/16 Immortal with Divine Shield, protecting the carriers that's having interceptors come out.
Dude, it's honestly just like a late game PvZ.
It's just like your ladder games, man.
No, I could be casting. This could be Day 9 versus Trump in Hearthstone, or, you know, this could be like just 2 top StarCraft 2 pros going at it in the World Championship.
So, Ceaseless Expanse is in the hand, but he's not at the point where he's got the mana to get that low enough.
Yeah.
So the problem is basically going to be like, how does he remedy this?
Dude, they're so big. They're so big, these minions. Oh my gosh. The 10/16 Divine Shield is killing me when I'm looking at it. Like, how do you deal with this?
So he's going to get some Zerglings that'll come out here. Yeah, Trump really taking his time here. How exactly does he want to play this?
I don't know. Nothing looks particularly good. Like, the Hydralisk deals a lot of damage when it comes out if you have a good amount of Zerg minions. He doesn't have that many this particular time. He does have that Kerrigan ability still.
Oh, he just has enough damage. He gets rid of the carrier.
Oh, the carrier's gone.
Okay, so this is much better.
Yeah, it's much more doable now.
Yeah.
So I just want to throw this out there, by the way. Day 9's going to draw a second carrier this turn. You watch.
He just top decks carrier number 2.
Twist the knife.
Yeah. Okay, so he's going to end that turn.
Oh!
He
there
did
it is! I told you!
I can't believe it!
Tasteless. I've played enough Hearthstone to know that when I feel like I've finally dealt with something, there it is again.
This is even worse to happen in Hearthstone. Normally, you know, you only have to deal with the carrier surprise once in a StarCraft game, right? The genie's kind of out of the bottle at that point in time.
Yeah, this is going to break Trump's heart.
Yeah.
There it goes. The carrier comes down.
Now he's going to crash into that lifesteal.
What? Yeah. Oh, he put the Divine Shield on the carrier. I was like, why not just put it back on the Immortal here? But no, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
no, just
look at this damage coming out.
This is wild. Okay, he has to figure something out. Okay, now he does have Ceaseless Expanse at 0 mana.
Yeah, he's got to do that. There's nothing else.
And that's I think literally the only thing he can do. Look at Day 9.
Well, you win some, you lose some, Tasteless.
Yeah, and in this case, I think you lose if you're Day 9. I mean, there's so many cards in hand. Same dilemma as in the previous game. How is he going to draw anything? But I think the carriers kind of had to bring you to victory. Had Ceaseless Expanse not been in the hand, maybe this game would be over already.
Didn't he already use like 2 Immortals and 2 carriers? That's like basically
that's
everything of value in his deck.
That's like all the backbone of the deck.
You watch, he's just going to draw cards that give him more mana now. Like Innervate's coming, man, and that's not going to help here. Look at that. Now he's got lethal on the board for next turn as well. It's so funny.
Ceaseless Expanse is brutal.
Oh, he draws a Trail Mix. Okay, well, that's not going to help very much, is it?
Okay, he's got 2 taunts. Man, I don't see any way now. Gonna just go ahead and get a few more taunts, just get some more targets on the board.
Well, maybe that'll slow him down a little bit.
He's got a decent amount of removal in his hand. Yeah. 3 damage across there. And then another
Oh my
3. So
God,
that's going
2
to wipe
table
everything.
flips.
That's going to be lethal. Boop.
And look at that, it gets tied up 1-1. I guess we
Yeah.
have ourselves a nice little series here, despite 2 Immortals and 2 carriers coming out for day 9. Trump just able to clear everything.
Crazy to see that carrier get top decked, but then Sleeceless Expanse
Yeah.
wiping the board. Day 9 without really any cards that are useful. There's no way to come back there. We're tied up 1-1, guys, and we're going to be going into game 3.
There is a specific card that I was trying to look for the entire game.
Well, you know
It is
what?
a 2-cost card called Bottomless Toy Chest. This is what I want. It's a discover card from your deck. If you have spell damage, copy it. And I would copy the carrier, but instead I just drew the carriers and I drew the Immortals.
See. Well, you'll get another chance to show that one off.
I want to take it. I really want to win with carriers.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to go into game 3 right now. In the 5-game show match, Day 9 versus Trump, currently tied up 1-1.
Yeah, and this is going to be day 9's historically best matchup, Zerg versus Terran. I know I was on the losing end of this many, many times in the old days, so we're going to see if Trump is a better man than I.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I think we're going to be actually hopping into this game in just a second here. Yeah, we're going to see if they're going to mulligan any cards. And this could be a long one. You know, this is going to be probably a bit more of a control warrior, kind of a slow play, armor building. We've already had a lot of epic games, by the way.
Yeah, these were really good games so far. Very, very much enjoyed them. So we'll see how this plays out. I actually did try out the deck that Day 9 is using against you, and it could do some crazy things, that's for sure. It like swarms, just very suddenly you get so many minions out. So looking forward to seeing if we're going to have a bit of that.
So we got a little bit of armor coming down here for Trump. Not going to put any cards on the board if he doesn't want to. Immediately we're going to have a Dreadhound Handler thrown down here from Day 9.
And Trump over here does draw into an SCV. That would have been a little bit more useful early on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like he's going to go ahead and use Liftoff, right? So that makes sense. Gets a medevac out with that and does get to draw a couple of starports for early game. That's really nice, isn't it?
I think this is going to be a really smooth early game here for Trump.
It
With
looks
those
it.
2 starports, there's going to be a lot of material he can put onto the board. Again, it's not really about trying to rush down and crush everything from the warrior with this kind of a deck. It's really just about controlling and building and drawing the game out.
Niduswarm that last turn, one of the quickest Niduswarms that I've ever seen personally. His first starship starts to get started. And yeah, like, I feel like this is the game that we're going to see that goes really, really long towards the end.
Yeah, I think so. We could have some taunts that would be thrown down here. Looks like he's looking over at the concussive shells as well as something he could possibly use. A lot of different ways to play this turn 4 hand here from Trump.
Yeah, it looks like he will throw down that Crystal Welder most likely, which makes a lot of sense. You see a little bit of trash talk going on between them out there. Ooh, the double Crystal Welder, all right.
So 2 Crystal Welders, that's going to be a lot to try to remove here onto the board. Spawning Pool thrown down here now. And he is going to go ahead and get a Zergling. Obviously spawning in pairs. And getting 2 Banelings, okay.
All right. I mean, all of his stuff looks pretty small and pretty weak comparatively, but quite a few Zerg units out there. So that can actually set up like a really big Hydralisk coming if he does end up drawing into something like that. So looking down a ton of Terran cards in Trump's hand right now. I would like to see those starports come out, to be honest. They feel so good in the early game.
Yeah, you know, knowing Trump, he's super conservative with whatever he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, we meme about the value town thing, but it is really a thing, is, you know, don't overplay everything you've got in your hands. So he might hold off even another turn or two, but I think it wouldn't be the worst idea to see a little bit of starport play.
I'd like to see it. All right, does go ahead and blows up the Baneling before that can get buffed up or anything like that. So still has that other 4/3 taunt, has the starport out, going to go ahead grab a medevac in there as well.
Yeah, right now I think Trump is really comfortable. I think Day 9 still has a lot of opportunities as far as what he wants to do. Both these guys have very full hands. So far in the games that we've seen with these two players, it does seem like Day 9 does burn through his hand a little bit more quickly, but has managed to be pretty okay regardless.
Well, this is the kind of grindy Zerg that he wants to play anyways.
Right.
It's not like really much of a rush. It's more like, okay, let's kind of trade a bit here, which kind of does lead us to thinking this might be one of those longer games. And he will clear this taunt, throwing away 3 of his 1/1s there. Also gets the ghoul as well, but doesn't feel like the most impactful turn there for Day 9.
Right. I mean, getting rid of one of the taunts is nice, I guess. Turn 6 here for Trump. Trump actually getting pretty crazy as far as what he's got here on the board. You know, generally, like you were saying, Artosis, you're kind of trying to trade things out and go for control play, but Day 9 does need to get something on here because this is going to become a pretty substantial amount of damage, right? And he could start to lose health pretty quickly.
Well, looks like some more trading going to go down. Sacrificing another starship piece there. I actually kind of like that, getting rid of some of these to build up the strength of that starship, because, you know, what we've seen, you know, with the Terran starships is you want to launch them a lot of times. You can make it really cheap. You know, you can do things like Raynor and, you know, be able to launch them multiple times and all that. So some very cool different ways to play it.
Okay, Trump's laying down a couple more basic units on the board here. We've got that 2/1 Viking out now. A very rich hand here from Day 9. All these cards very playable. And he's going to go with the 1/4. That pool draws another Zergling and is then destroyed.
Oh, I love to see the Infestor out, just powering everything up. That makes, like, for instance, the Zergling so much stronger at that point.
And the fact that he's going to get the 2 Infestors out right away, this is big. This is going to give him a lot more momentum as we get deeper into this game.
I love it. Look at that. Just so strong. And he gets copies of them. It's wild, man. But a big starship getting prepared here for Trump as well.
That's right. He does have that ace up his sleeve here. The starship is going to be an inevitability. Yeah, when those 2 Infestors get wiped, God, the Zerg is going to be so strong as far as what he wants. That was really... such an important play to get those out and get them duplicated like he did.
Yeah, no, the Infestors are just powering everything up so much right now. Which, again, you know, flavorfully, it's one of these support spellcasters that you have with Zerg. So, very cool to see. So, yeah, he is going to be able to launch with the Exodar. Obviously, an awesome card for a Starship deck. And here, let's see how big this is. A 9/7 taunt, and then 3/2 taunts. All right. That's going to be hard to clear.
Looking pretty fearsome over here.
Whoa. You can gain so much armor here.
Yeah,
utilize the attack split up. Yeah. Get copies of all the Starship's pieces, set their cost to 1. Wow.
This is kind of insane. Trump really has
Which one
to
did you
pick
go for,
wisely here.
Tasteless?
I think the crew transport.
You think so?
Yeah. What about you?
I'm looking at that armor, Tasteless. But no, maybe you're right that you're just getting a bunch more. Yeah, and that's exactly what he does. He just gets all those starship pieces. So that's going to allow him to build another one that's just ridiculously strong very, very quickly as well.
So we've got the 2 Infestors on the board. He's going to throw down the Zerglings. You can see the buff and how strong this is. Now you're spawning 2 3/3 Zerglings. That's wild.
Is he going to attack those Infestors, though?
I was about to ask that. I feel like it would have made sense maybe to even do that earlier, right?
You know, I don't want to be one of those commentators that thinks he's better than the gamers, but
Okay, ends up pulling the Viking out onto the ground. The buffing continues.
There you go.
6/2 Infestor now. So you just going to trade that out? Yeah, well...
Dude, look at that.
This is crazy.
5/5 Zerglings, 2 of them for 1 mana?
This is better than having the StarCraft Brood War 3-3 upgraded Zerglings with Adrenal, man.
Yeah, seriously.
It's crazy.
Seriously.
Okay, back over to Trump now. He does draw Jim Raynor.
Oh, man.
He's got a decent amount of armor to sit on already. So
I think you hold Jimmy here, though.
you pocket him for a little bit longer?
Yeah, you get a few more starships launched.
Yeah.
Because you have all these pieces in your hand. You have double starports out to get more pieces. Yeah, man, you wait. If you plays that now, I'm going to walk into the other room and ask him what he's doing.
Okay, tough turn here for Trump. What exactly does he want to play? Both sides are sitting on these huge armies. We've got 2 starports that could be used here.
Yeah, there's actually like a lot of options
there's
for him, to be honest.
So many ways you could play this, really.
Yeah.
He's still deliberating which cards to play. Not attacking anything just yet.
Thank God we disabled the rope here.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, he can pick and choose and hit whatever he wants, right? I mean, there's no taunts on the board for day 9.
That is very true.
Yeah. He can trade exactly how it would be ideal for him.
Well, I definitely think he's got to clear as much as he possibly can this turn. I know that you have over 50 health with that armor, but
Right, well,
like you can't just count on that forever. Okay, grabs a couple more here, a medevac as well as a Raven coming out of those 2 starports as they get used up. Destroy random enemy minion. That's totally decent, I'd say.
yeah, I think this is a good one. It does take out the 5/5. Probably the worst thing he possibly could have hit, right? So, I mean, that's pretty
Well,
nice for
it's
day 9.
reborn immediately.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what's the point?
So he's going to possibly play Liftoff here.
Oh, a Yamato cannon, but he's pretty much out of mana at this point.
Yeah, now he just has to figure out how he wants to trade damage on the board.
Yeah. Might be time for those concussive shells as well.
Okay, so he's going to throw that down one more taunt and get a little bit more armor.
Well, at least he can't...
Or excuse me, he'll get that if it dies. Sorry.
Yeah. At least he can't take too much damage this turn.
Right.
Like, that is a fearsome Zerg army. I love the fact that this Viper is a 9/5 right now.
I know, it's insane.
Yeah. A spellcaster from StarCraft just looking so beastly. Now, he uses the Headless Horseman. Not one of my favorites to play against personally.
Yeah, it can be pretty frustrating. And so, I mean, he basically does have a better army on the board right now. He's going to be able to do 3 damage here. So continuing to clear. Obviously, the Starship is still available here for Trump when he wants to actually use it.
Dude, look at the amount of damage. He just put down like 23 damage
He cleared
or something.
almost all the armor off.
Yeah, a lot of that gone now. Trump's going to have a big turn.
He's looking at that. Concussive shells. Everything's so beefy right now with the exception of the Zergling. It's going to be so hard to get damage out to remove this. Just 3 2-1s right now.
Well, I think you just start trading out as much as you can. You know, you do have those concussive shells possibly for a little bit more damage.
Right.
Don't forget, you could go Raynor and use his ability here, but it looks like he's not going to do that.
So I think he's going to go for that Viper, right?
Okay.
Still 9 man in hand, hasn't used any cards yet. Just going to clear the Zergling? No, he is going to have...
Okay. Well, maybe it's just because the Zergling comes back anyway that he doesn't want to bother. Now he's in the Terran's dilemma, right? He sees this army across the board that's completely scary. He's like, well, I do need more SCVs, so yeah.
All right, he drops the SCV. He's going to
Making
do
a
2
super
damage over there. That's going to drop it to 1.
Okay. Ooh, a copy there. Launch that Starship for 1 mana, please!
Yeah, he's going to go for it. So he's got a 14, 11. There we go. And it's going to be the rest of the damage distributed on the board.
Yep.
That's going to leave us with just 2 units left over.
Dude, look at that thing.
14, 11 lifesteal.
That's
PC. That's insane.
crazy.
So yeah, not that he needs it, but he's got it.
That is just absolute insanity there. And it is a mech as well, so...
So he still has 6 mana. Looks like he's just going to clear this Zergling. Once again, day 9's the hand is getting smaller and smaller the further along we go.
That's true.
Although I guess Trump is playing a lot of cards this turn, so he's just going to fill the board up.
Yeah, but he's just, all these are starship pieces.
Yeah.
And then he's got Raynor as well. You know what that's going to look like when Raynor comes out?
It's going to be totally crazy, man. It's going to be so strong. He's going to draw 2 Zerg cards. What does he get?
They better be pretty
Viper.
good. Yeah, Viper's good.
I mean, Viper's fine, I guess. He does draw Kerrigan. Okay.
Okay. Well, we all know that's Jim Raynor's weakness, Tasteless. And Tychus is not in this set. I repeat, Tychus is not in this set. There is no easy counter to Kerrigan.
Okay, we've got 2 7/7 Zerglings on the board. Just looking at that Jim Raynor.
Well, you don't play it with a full board, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. We've got a Thor in hand here as well for Trump. And it seems like he's just going to basically trade. Get rid of some of these smaller units.
I love it.
Starship
And get ready
pieces.
for another?
Yeah.
Another starship?
Still 1 7/7 Zergling. He just goes ahead and triggers that. That's going to give him a 7/5 with the 2/2 Marines. Sorry, 3 2/2 Marines.
Battlecruiser Marine SCV. A little bit of everything here. His economy's decent. He's got a good ground force here to cover that battlecruiser.
He's got an SCV to repair it if this is an actual StarCraft
Oh,
game.
absolutely.
Okay. Gonna go with Kerrigan here. But there's still a lot on the board. I mean, this is a lot of damage coming from Terran. Blast that down with the 3 damage.
A lot on the board,
Yeah.
Taste.
I did not appreciate that removal there. Excuse me.
Oh my God! And yeah, those brood queens giving you the larvae that just keep on evolving in your hand, so strong. But no, the Jim Raynor is out.
It's a true classic Kerrigan versus Jim Raynor moment.
Yeah. Wait, he's making too much stuff, and he actually doesn't get as many starships as he should have gotten. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's too many Marines.
Here's the thing: Raynor's too good.
Yeah. Buffs it. Oh my God!
That is hilarious.
It went from Trump having nothing to Trump having everything again.
Look at the damage output that he's going to have. Day 9, you better have a good turn coming up.
And I mean, this is, it's funny. They both have high HP, but the damage output from Trump here is so crazy. I mean, you got to address this immediately, like this turn.
Yeah.
Or else.
Well, you just have to clear a lot right now. I don't know how you're supposed to go about winning this game as Day 9. Well, he doesn't either. You can see him, he's scratching his head.
Yeah.
He's got the thinking man's pose, but with a depressed look on his face, unfortunately. He seems to be thrown for a loop. Day 9, come on, show us how to be a better gamer.
I mean, he might be in trouble, man. I don't know how he's going to get out of this.
Might be in trouble.
Is he going to throw the lurker down here?
Okay.
Okay, 8/12 lurker comes down onto the board.
Okay. Now what?
Still has 6 mana. He could get the Viper on the board. I don't know. I mean,
he can sack the Brood Queen and get that extra damage, but he's got to get some more Zerg minions out to make that make sense.
He needs something to basically match what's on the board already here from Trump.
Yeah.
Look at Trump right now. You think that Zerg creep back there behind him? That's actually his brain. We put a camera in there. We're watching the neurons fire as he makes these decisions. Okay, so he's going to go ahead and hit that. Clears that.
I like it. But how much damage is actually going to be coming across the board, right? So it's like 12 plus 9, 21 plus 8, 29. Look at that. Exact lethal with the stim pack.
Wow. Trump just looking at all his possible plays.
What I would be doing right now is trying to trick Trump. I'd be like, oh no, you can kill my Brood Queen. Oh, I hope you don't kill my Brood Queen. It's my only chance to win. My hand's really weak without the Brood Queen. And then he'd clear the Brood Queen and smile at me and be like, ha, I live to fight again another turn.
Is he just going to throw the Thor down? Yeah, here we go. Deal 5 damage. Takes that out. Only HP left. No armor now.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Now it's 19. Here we go. I think this is it. 11. Yep, that's going to be game.
Yep.
Trump now in the lead, 2-1 in this 5-game show match series. Trump really just getting that Jim Raynor out there, powering up, getting the BCs out as well.
So strong.
Great round. I think Day 9 had some opportunities there. It looked like he was going to kind of build up momentum and maybe carry it through, but eventually there's just so many taunts on the board. You know, when you have that many taunts and they don't have any taunts, the guy with the taunts can choose exactly how to trade.
It's so true.
Well, if there's enough taunts, I should say, not all taunts.
Oh, it's very
then
well
you just
done.
Then you just trade again however you want.
I like that. It feels like Terran play too, right?
Yeah.
Like you're sitting there behind this wall of invincible taunts that just keep on coming, and you keep on making them stronger. It scales right up. So well done by Trump.
All right, guys, we're gonna do a quick interview with the devs, and after that, we'll be back with Game 4. Hey, what's up, guys? We're gonna go back to the show match in a little bit. First, we wanted to take some time and talk to the devs. I am joined with Leo and Aleko. These two guys have been bringing StarCraft to Hearthstone. How's it going, guys?
It's going fantastic.
It's going great. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we just want to ask you guys a few questions about the set. First off, what really prompted you to make a StarCraft set in Hearthstone? And what was the vision behind creating it?
I think the biggest thing about why and like honestly how we did it was just there was so much excitement from the team to make StarCraft stuff happen in Hearthstone. I remember before we even started working on the mini set, the game director pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, I've got kind of a wild idea to float by you. We're in space in the main set in the Great Dark Beyond. For the mini set, let's stay in space in StarCraft." And at first, I didn't know how to think about that other than like, yes, that sounds sick. Everyone's gonna love that. Let's do that. And after a bit, we kept figuring out like the logistics of it and the specifics for the schedule. But throughout the entire process, more and more people kept getting more and more excited about doing it, which is a really good sign.
Yeah, as soon as the word StarCraft was floated for the first time, my ears perked up. I've just been such a long-time StarCraft fan, and my attitude was just like, what do we have to do to make this happen? Like, what do I need to clear out of the way to make this work? So yeah, I think there's a lot of other people on the team too who just love StarCraft so much and really worked hard to get this all together.
You know, one of the things that makes StarCraft so great is that each of the units operates in a really unique and special way. When you were bringing StarCraft over into Hearthstone and putting each of those units into a card, what was that experience and process like?
Yeah, I'd say the process was very much flavor first with all these different iconic units. There's just so many iconic units in StarCraft, and they all behave in such unique and interesting ways. And it's great as a designer because there's so much to sink your teeth into, right? Like all these different units, doing different things. So yeah, definitely like flavor first. I tried to just put the coolest, most StarCrafty version of each card in at the very start. And then after we did that, we had to make some decks and some archetypes out of them and gameplay that really flowed and came together. So, we massaged a few things around and tried to make the cards synergize and work better. So some things that are still in the game right now are just the most flavorful thing that we could think of, and other things were moved a bit to try and work together with those cards and just make the most fun decks that we can.
Yeah, and even outside of the cards and the decks in general, figuring out which class was going to be associated with which faction was a whole challenge in and of itself. I think that was one of the first steps we did to kind of like lay the groundwork of the mini set, because we knew from the very beginning you can't do a StarCraft anything without direct references to the three like main races, the three factions. And with the 11 classes that we have, we had a really unique opportunity to put each one in one of those factions. And some of them make a ton of sense. It's kind of like the immediate first thought, right? I think Warlock in Zerg is fantastic, Mage in Protoss. And then others, we kind of had to do some puzzle piecing together, moving some things around to make the most sense for all the goals that we had. We knew that we wanted this mini set to be a bunch of decks, not just individual cards, but your entire game plan is about StarCraft. And because of the different play styles of the three factions, we knew that some classes might have just gotten a pretty control-heavy thing. Let's give them something fresh. For starships, in the main set, there's a bunch of classes that were given starships and a bunch that didn't get it. So for Terran, we knew we had to give classes that didn't get starship before a chance at the keyword with a brand new, fresh coat of paint. So that was a ton of fun to figure out, and yeah.
The card designs are really fantastic here, but also, the animations, the sounds, the graphics that you guys are using, it feels like it really gels well with StarCraft. How did you go about designing those aspects?
I mean, that was like a team effort, honestly. Like everyone on the team, we alluded to this earlier, but everyone was so excited to get this done and do this the best way we can. And that isn't just on design side, engineering side, but art side, VFX, production, everybody really gave it their all here. And I think for StarCraft, there's a very unique, like kind of gritty, almost dark aesthetic to it. Hearthstone is very bright, like whimsical, happy-go-lucky, honestly. And trying to find the like middle ground between those, or honestly create that middle ground where you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, that's a Templar, I know that. Oh, that's the Thor. But someone who might not know what those are from StarCraft, it still looks like a Hearthstone card. It was definitely a challenge that I think the art team like smashed it. They did a fantastic job with it. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything you want to add.
Just getting those first pieces of art back, and, seeing those all for the first time, because when we're playing with things at first and just play testing stuff, there's not like art on the cards. It's just a bunch of cards, kind of bonking into each other. But seeing those first pieces of art come back, and it was StarCraft stuff, but like with this sort of Hearthstone like brightness and visual to it, it was just such a dream come true for me.
So what has your experience been playing each of these decks? Is there one that you prefer the most? And is this also the same race that you play when you play StarCraft, or is it different?
God, that's such a tough question, because there's honestly, it feels like a cop-out answer because I made them, right? But there's so many that I love. Yeah. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Warlock, the Zerg Warlock deck. I think to me it feels maybe the most unique of all of them. It's a location-based deck. I think the flavor of consume, like taking away durability from the Ultralisk caverns so you can get your Ultralisks out, just feels so on point, and the gameplay has just been really fun. And my main class, though, was Protoss in StarCraft. Like 98% of all the countless hours of StarCraft I've played has been on Protoss, so it's hard not to say a Protoss one.
I mean, speaking of Protoss, I think generally their game plan is my favorite with all the decks in Hearthstone. Trying to get to those late game minions that you can slam down as early as possible. And between the 4 Protoss classes, this is kind of a cop-out answer. I can't really pick a favorite, but that plays into it because Priest with the Mothership lets them generate a bunch of random Protoss. So if you can't decide which one you want to play, slam down a Mothership and play everything, right? You're never going to see a Priest slam down an Archon unless you're getting the Mothership out first. And I don't know, I'm also a fan of randomness in Hearthstone, so kind of getting a game's outcome not like hand delivered to me, but figuring it out as you go along is super fun. So I'm stoked to play that on live.
I gotta say, I think you guys knocked it out of the park. Thank you so much for bringing StarCraft into Hearthstone.
Yeah.
The games so far have been amazing. And we're gonna be continuing on here with our show match of Day 9 versus Trump right now. We're ready to continue with the 5-game show match series of Day 9 versus Trump.
That's right, Day 9 losing right now 1-2. But he's warming up, as you can see, playing an invisible piano that's shaped in a very weird shape. Getting those fingers limber.
He's actually moving an invisible abacus around and counting out different possible Hearthstone scenarios and how he would trade on the board. Trump right now up in the lead here, looking really good. But I gotta say, we got really lucky with how good all the games were.
Yeah, it's been really fun. It's been very exciting between these two. I actually couldn't believe how back and forth some of these games were, to the point where
Is this WWE? Like, is this scripted?
Right? This is definitely scripted. So we're going to be playing a couple decks that have lost against each other here. So we're going to have that Protoss Mage deck coming out for Trump, and we're going to have that Death Knight Zerg deck here for Day 9.
Yeah, and so immediately we're going to get the Buccaneer on the board here, going over to Trump. By the way, we were talking about this actually, when we weren't recording this, we were talking about off camera. But is it correct that Trump could have maybe won game 1 had he actually used the Mage spell?
Yeah, he missed two
He didn't-
pings.
Yeah, 2 pings from the fireball.
And Sean was at 2 health at the end, so.
Talk about a real butterfly effect moment. Like you make
Yeah.
this one mistake early on, and then you're unable to finish with a win because it didn't actually stack up. So already,
Dude, he's already gotten Infestor out with Reborn.
yeah, but
Like, while we're trying to set up the storyline, Day 9 takes a big lead here early on.
yeah, we're gonna get Gorgon out here to get the cheese in the hand here for Trump. But I gotta say, this already looks really strong for day 9.
Yeah. Dude, the Infestor, like, making 5/5 lings and stuff like we saw in their previous game. It's just, it's crazy.
Second Buccaneer in hand here too, for day 9. Here's the funny thing too, is like they're like laughing and having fun and they're having a good time,
Yeah.
but they both really want to win
They
this.
both
want to win this so badly.
Yeah, there's not a question about
Yeah.
that.
They actually hate each other, guys.
Oh my gosh. Day 9 actually put the beat down on right now. Pretty
Yeah.
nice. Pretty nice.
Looking pretty good.
Trump is trying to figure out how to outvalue right now, but I don't see how to do it, man. Playing against Infestor, it's just such a pain.
Yeah, it's rough. The Infestor's still here right now at 4-2. Looks like he is going to go for the delicious cheese. Now, we don't know what exactly he's going to draw here, so let's go ahead and see.
Okay. A couple 3-1s and a 3-2.
I would say this is fine,
Yeah.
but nothing extraordinary, right?
No.
Like, no
Nothing
unit
to
that
write home
comes
about.
down. Yeah, nothing that's going to come down here
thing
and
is,
change everything.
Especially with the 1 health here, man, his location's going to blow that all up.
Yeah.
All right, does finally get rid of that. That's actually very, very important. You don't want another Infestor coming down and getting
Right.
that reborn status once again.
And so now for day 9's turn, I gotta say, that thing, Horizon's Edge, is so strong
Yeah, it
in
is.
situations like this. Just the amount of damage you can end up dishing out.
No, I'm loving it. And look at that. Just going to open it back up again and... Oh, there you go.
There you
Oops.
go.
Sorry, cleared your board. So a Brood Queen comes out as well. Very, very nice early lead here still from day 9. Already has Trump down to 18 health.
Yeah, we've had some really long games so far, some real back and forth epic matches, but I think if Trump doesn't stabilize here, he will just get smothered by the units that are just being spat out here by day 9.
Yeah, I think he's thinking
Look
about
at
that.
day 9. Look how content he is with this situation right now.
Yeah. He thinks he's so
He
good.
thinks he's so smart.
Yeah. And look at this. Trump's trying to think, and he just won't stop talking. All right, so we're going to get Khadgar out here. He's going to hope for something like a blizzard.
Yeah. So we got the 2/2 taunts coming out.
Not the worst, I guess.
So that's going to give at least a little bit of sandbagging here for the progress from day 9, who still has a pretty decent hand so far. There's a lot of ways you can play this out, whether it's a 6-mana drop or just dropping these smaller minions.
I think he's just trying to calculate right now, like, do we clear the board? Do we go for that extra damage?
Right.
Of course, you have to clear these taunts out. You can open that back up if you sack this guy, but is that really that helpful?
Yeah, so he trades that out so that if the Infestors hit, that unit will still be wiped.
Not the best Horizon's Edge there.
Yeah. Going to summon a Ghoul now to rush in.
And of
Still a
course-
decent amount of mana here. Where are these shots going to go? Unfortunately, this is so funny. 3 in a row.
Well, he gets him pretty low.
Yeah, I
Gets him
mean,
pretty
look,
low.
the reality is maybe there's a world where you just end up going for face later and just crushing it out.
Yeah.
But I think what Day 9 wanted to do was to try to have some kind of board clear and control here and then just kind of steadily navigate this to a win.
I think you're right about that. A couple Banelings in the hand, Zergling in the hand there as well. Oh, all right.
All right, Baneling down here now.
Yeah,
2/2.
with that Reborn.
Yeah. I mean, Trump, this just looks really bad. He could freeze some minions on the board here.
You know, I think the big problem here, Tasteless, is he's playing non-StarCraft cards. You know?
No, that's the issue.
I think that might be the issue here.
He does have Rising Waves. A 2 in hand, in fact.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe you should hit the Brood Queen and use Rising Waves, something like that.
Yeah.
Gonna freeze the Infestor, I guess?
Actually, I think this will let him stabilize here.
Maybe. I guess he can maybe look for good trades in the next turn or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't freeze that Baneling, it's going to kill like everything you have, actually.
Yeah. I think the Baneling freeze is the way. It looks like that's what he's going to do.
Dude, the splash damage that comes out of that thing, very, very accurate.
And then the 2/2 taunts. Okay. I think a really good turn for Trump, honestly.
Yeah. No, he did very well there. At least he's got a bit of armor, too, to make up some of that health deficit.
So now we go back to day 9. Half of his army's frozen. Obviously, these taunts have to be eliminated before he can make any more progress here. So he's just going to kind of try to draw, see what he can pull out. He gets a couple of Zerglings, some zero-cost Zerglings.
Okay.
You can see then on camera, like, okay, I mean, not bad.
Well,
Maybe not exactly what you wanted, but not terrible either.
we're eventually going to see the Rising Waters come out.
Yeah. Oh!
With the Hydralisk, though, actually, that makes it a perfect play, doesn't it?
Oh, my God.
That's
Great play there.
craziness.
Trump now up against the ropes again.
Don't worry, he's going to get a couple mirror image taunts again. He'll be fine, Tasteless. He'll be fine. But no, I think it's time for that Rising Waters, perhaps. Maybe even 2.
I think you have to.
Like,
I think there's literally no other choice,
Well,
right? It's 7 mana.
you have to get lucky with the Mage spell otherwise.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
you can't count on that. Otherwise, you're just going to die.
So Trump's going to go, well, if he goes with a ping, he can't use the 2 Rising Waters because that's going to put him at 5 mana. So he's going to do 2 damage. That's going to leave just, what, a 3/3 Baneling and a 6/2 Hydra. Bringing the
Rush.
Void Ray out.
Yeah.
Okay. Takes
I'm digging it.
Takes the Hydra out. All right.
There you go. Hey!
Yeah, that was a very different
That
way he
was-
approached
yeah,
this. With our
yeah.
smooth brains, we're like just rising waves twice.
Yeah.
These are way more
Well, dude, I can't rely on a random Mage spell. Are you kidding me? It's like a counter spell. Oh, sick. Okay, yeah, that's gonna help me against all the minions on the board.
All right, Infestor out now. More 1/1. Oh, we're back on Horizon's Edge.
Oh man.
Right where the game started might be where it ends here too. Armor now gone for the Mage. Trump gonna have another difficult turn here once Day 9 wraps this up. Closing this out with a double 3/3 Zergling.
for like no mana as
Yeah.
well. Trump over here with an 11 cost Colossus in his hand.
Maybe the worst thing he could have drawn for this turn. It's going to give him no opportunities.
Yeah. I think it's time for Rising Waters number 2, Tasteless.
All right, let's go. All right, gets another board clear. Yeah, I think this is probably the play.
Yeah. No, I like it. He gets another spell here. Ooh, counter spell.
Counterspell.
Actually, that's pretty good right here. You can't say too much about that. But he's got like, dude, with the Horizon's Edge and you know, his little rush minion, like he can probably end up doing something here. Oh, Kerrigan.
Wow, okay. I thought he might hang on to that for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I guess the truth is that his hand was already so small, this sets up really nicely.
And now he can just go ahead and use Ravage. Look at this. So low on health right now.
Yeah, 3 HP remaining here.
The Zerg Swarm has been real.
You
Can
could
you live through this thing?
Yeah, I mean, wasn't there an Alexstrasza heal? Would that make sense?
It's always the worst
I
feeling.
always feel like I'm going to lose the game if I've had to heal with Alexstrasza.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it just-
you're so on the edge at that point.
Yeah. It's like, well, this isn't how this whole game was supposed to go.
No.
That I use this to save me. Like, Trump looking pretty miffed right now.
Yeah, I don't think he has anything else really to do. It seems like this deck just had a slow start this game for sure. Doesn't try the Alexstrasza. I can't really deny him on this, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this is, no matter how you play this out, it's not going to look good. So he could freeze. Yeah, that makes sense. And he opts to just go for damage to face, get rid of the armor.
So there. Oh, the taunts again!
That's
Are you
big.
kidding me?
Day 9 grabbing his head there.
Mirror image for days.
Yeah.
Well, he does have that Kerrigan spell, so like I think Day 9's still gonna just take this down most likely.
I think so.
I gotta tell you, I really love what they did with Artanis, Kerrigan, and Jim Raynor here.
Yeah, I love that.
Good flavor.
Well,
really strong.
But you know what they did is they did a great job taking actual units and putting them in the game, but then they also took the main characters from the story too.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and put them perfectly in this position where
The only mistake in the set is that Tychus isn't in there, man.
yeah.
The hard counter to Kerrigan.
4/4 Baneling dropped here. Hydras are going to come out.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I think that's it then, right?
Well, one
did I
taunt
miss
falls.
that?
Oh my God! It's 1 HP.
One
and
health.
There's 1 HP on the mirror image. I
One
can't
health.
believe it.
I can't even. But I don't know.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Oh.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. Good job,
Wow.
Day 9. And that means we're tied up 2-2.
Yeah. Wow. You know, we would have gone to Game 5 no matter what, even if one of them was
Yeah.
up to 4-0. But this is a great way to end this.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're going to have the deciding match here between the very much back and forth show match between Day 9 and Trump. We'll begin to that in just a little bit.
That's so strong, yes. Kerrigan actually counters my Protoss hero quite a bit too. The Divine Shield does nothing against Kerrigan's 1.
Oh, that's right, because it pops it
Yeah.
and then immediately gaddles through. But dude, that armor gain, I was so worried that there was just going to be a Colossus coming down and slicing me up.
It was so close. If I only had 1 more mana than 10, for 11 mana, I could have cast that Colossus.
But okay, so that means we're 2-2. It's time for
Yeah.
a final match.
It's time for the epic PvP. Protoss.
We're doing a PvP,
We're doing PvP.
and the crowd goes wild.
And we are now going to go into the final game between these two with Day 9 versus Trump. Again, I'm very pleasantly surprised that this has been so back and forth. It's been so even. I think Game 4 may be a little bit too short for my liking, but everything else has been pretty epic.
And now we're going to go into a Protoss versus Protoss. These are the only 2 decks that haven't actually won here tonight. So we're going to have a mirror matchup. And they've both been kind of slow is the thing, right? Like the Protoss cards, they seem like they take a really long time to get out, but pack a huge punch. So going against each other, I mean, maybe we just see a Colossus versus Colossus war. I mean, that'll bring back old memories of StarCraft 2 for me.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm glad that we're going to close this out with a mirror matchup. You know, I think a lot of times when people think of StarCraft, they think of the asymmetric matchups like Terran versus Zerg or Protoss versus Terran. But the truth is that mirror matchups are great. And it's going to be fun to see how these two play it out and who is actually going to take it. Because I think at this point in time, it's fair to say it could be either of these guys.
Yeah.
Now, even though it's mirrored Protoss versus Protoss with cards, it is Druid versus Mage.
Yeah, and looking at this, I got to say, not a very impressive hand there for Trump. Definitely a little bit better there for Day 9. Looks like he's maybe gearing up to get a very quick, like, Immortal out, maybe something like that. He does have that trail mix in there, so we'll see. But, yeah, definitely slow starts for both the decks.
Yeah. So we're going to have tide pools put out here, tide pools, excuse me. And what is he going to get?
Yeah.
He's going to go with the glyph.
Okay, so Day 9 here, he's got to play that trail mix, I think, right? Like, he's got to be aiming to get maybe the Immortal out, maybe Artanis out.
I think so.
Right? Like, it could be either one. I wouldn't even mind, like, a very quick Artanis here just to keep that consistent pressure on.
Yeah, maybe that's actually the way to do it. A 4-mana turn. It looks like we're going to have Chrono Boost here, just drawing the 2 Protoss cards, and of course getting that Zealot with Charge out. Get a little bit of control here on the board. There is a swipe in hand here from Day 9.
Yeah, I think though he's setting up for a big turn here because with that coin he can cast something that costs 7.
Right.
So let's see, is it going to be Artanis?
It is. You called it Artosis.
There you go. That is a really, really quick Artanis.
And this is going to require a pretty quick response here from Day 9.
Yeah.
So in this turn, Trump with 5 mana here. Looks like he's really not sure what he wants to play. He's counting over almost every card. I mean, there are a lot of different combinations you could make here.
Well, you don't want Artanis to start giving everything like Divine Shield, right? So maybe you just have to wipe everything as quickly as possible. Not that that's going to feel very good. Just reading and rereading all of his cards here. Dude, he loves to play Gorgonzormu early on.
So he is going to do a little bit of damage over there. Use the hero power there. Just take down that one zealot and kind of stabilize in this position.
Now, Day 9, like, the carriers are down to 10. Yeah, look, he's going to be able to reduce that a little bit as well with that photon cannon. Really, really nice.
Man, that Divine Shield is really handy.
It is. I love just these hero abilities from the StarCraft heroes. They really do fit, you know, Protoss with their shields and everything.
Protoss-y, yeah.
Yeah.
Giving Divine Shield to everything.
Like, look at how tough that Zealot is right now, seriously.
So at this point in time, we're going to have to see something here from Trump. It seems like he's got a lot of good cards, but doesn't quite know which way he wants to take this game. He is down to 19 HP. He's getting pretty low.
Yeah, it's funny because he has all the like cost reduction stuff, but all the expensive Protoss minions are actually in Day 9's hands. So like they have what each other needs, basically.
Exactly. The annoying thing is that if you keep getting a Divine Shield on everything, it's just so hard to get things to remove.
Yeah.
Unless you have something that like removes everything no matter what, right? So Trump kind of stuck here.
Yeah, he's really trying to figure out the best way to do this.
And it looks like he's going to go for Shield Battery.
Okay.
Just
get
try
a little
to
bit of
draw
armor.
a little bit more. Yeah. So what exactly is he going to go for here? He could go with the freeze. That might be one way to play this out. In fact, he does decide to go ahead and go for that. Now, there's 2 0-cost cards here in his hand as well.
Because everything you put out, it feels like they're going to get wrecked by the Zealot. You know?
Yeah.
The Divine Shields and everything. All right, puts out a Warp Gate. So if he draws into something like a carrier, that's going to be really, really nice.
Yeah, that would be huge.
Day 9 over here. Oh, he does get the construct additional pylon, so he can bring down with just barely not enough to cast the carrier, but he could get that Immortal out this turn with the buff. He's going to skip that, though.
He's going to go with the Chia Drake here instead. Maybe pocket that Immortal for just a little bit later. And here we go. This is where the Divine Shields start to stack, right?
Yeah.
And this is where I feel like a game can really get out of hand. If you get like maybe 1 or 2 more units on the board with Divine Shield, it's so hard to stabilize. You're basically
Really
just
is.
dropping minions on the board, and they're trading them out, and over time you're getting no value.
Yeah. What is the decision here? Like, oh man, he puts down his own Artanis, but it's so late.
Yeah. And this can be cleared, right, in the next turn. So,
Yeah, you could play the Void Ray as well.
yeah, actually, I think the Void Ray is a really smart move.
Yeah, I think you play that Void Ray. Let's go.
Okay, Void Ray out.
All right.
I think Trump
very
actually
good.
saved the day here.
Kind of, yeah. Still can take a little bit of damage, but I mean, he's gained a lot of armor, at least.
Right. So he's going to come through there and just pop that Divine Shield. At least,
Okay.
you know, even though you can always put it back on there, at least you're forcing him to spend mana on doing that, right?
Yeah. And he's actually still got a pretty reasonable hand, but here's what's going to happen, Tasteless, is those carriers are going to come out, and that is, like, the carriers are just so strong.
The carriers are so good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting into cost range here. So we've got the first carrier dropped.
Oh,
Day9's very happy about this.
Look at that damage. Oh, and they all go to face?
Are you serious?
What? That's crazy.
I can't believe that.
Dude, it's
Day9
time.
is so unhappy with what's just happened right now.
It has to be Rising Waters time. Throw your minions into the carrier. I don't know. It just you gotta start clearing things.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. Rising waves, just wipe out all the interceptors, start to try to chip away at the carrier. There is a second carrier in hand right now, which is going to be really handy to just kind of, once the first carrier's wiped, just throw down the next one.
Well, that's what we thought last time, and then he lost because you did it.
That's true. So he's going to freeze a minion and then
Okay.
summon a copy of it. Wow, okay.
Oh, that's sick, actually.
Yeah, I don't know why I hadn't thought of that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's sick.
absolutely the play.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's so
Rising
good.
Waves now will clear all the
Yeah,
interceptors.
Rising Waves into your carrier, just cleaning everything. This is crazy.
This is a huge play here. Okay, so that's going to be almost a complete wipe.
I think it's going to be a complete wipe when he finishes the turn.
Yeah, I think so.
Should he have Divine Shielded that thing first? Or no, I guess it's better afterwards.
All right, so Divine Shield's going to come. You just want the carrier to stay on the board for as long as possible. Mm-hmm. Eventually, it will sort everything out for you.
That's the true value right there.
I do love the fact that the interceptors kind of have a mind of their own.
Yeah.
You know, just like in StarCraft.
Yeah, you can't actually click on an interceptor and tell it what to do in StarCraft.
Right.
It does its own thing. you
Same
can
thing with
kind of target them, but not exactly.
I always like this about StarCraft as well, is that the bunker, it was the same thing.
Yeah.
The bunker just will target whatever it wants to target. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, they did fix that in StarCraft too.
Yeah.
But, man, the carrier really does feel exactly like that. Now, he puts out the Zealot here, and, okay, a couple taunts, okay. Like, those will take a couple interceptor hits if nothing else happens.
Yeah. Kind of the ideal health to have for something like this. Within 5, it could absolutely be a great damage sponge.
Look at that carrier, though. So beefy at 12.
I know, it's crazy.
Man.
So the Void Ray is going to come down. And that's going to get the buff. And this is just about trying to chip away at that carrier, get rid of it. And I think Day9 probably won't throw down his own carrier until he's eliminated this one.
I think you're probably right about that. Well, he still has, is the Divine Shield, and he's got like a lot going on. I love, by the way, like look at this. Interceptor's actually made it through. We haven't seen this yet, but now he can actually control those interceptors.
Yeah, yeah. What do you want to do here? Summon a copy of a minion.
Man, I put down Counterspell.
Yeah, Counterspell feels pretty good, but he doesn't go with that.
No. He just doesn't get this game like you and I.
It's all that casting we did that made us so much better than them. All right, so we've got another decision-making moment here from Trump. What's he going to go for?
Yeah, I think he's just kind of calculating. He wants to clear as much as he possibly can at this point. He still hasn't drawn the big Protoss minions. When he gets those,
Yeah, we're kind of waiting.
stuff's gonna start exploding. Like he's cast a lot of Protoss spells, hasn't he?
Yeah,
so like the
quite a
Quasi
bit.
are gonna be quite strong as well.
Still 7 mana to spend. Gonna go with the 0 mana photon cannon here.
And another Protoss spell.
He's gonna go ahead and try to just go into that taunt. Gonna go with the Divine Shield. Just keep this carrier alive as long as possible. Face goes right into the taunt to wipe that out. Oh, nice. That was so
That's
smart. Look at
sick.
Day9. He's like, oh, okay.
That is so sick. I love that.
Yeah, that was really smart.
It's like infinite interceptors forever now.
Yeah, it could just snowball from here.
Yeah.
Keep in mind there's Counterspell. Or that's Counterspell?
That's Counterspell,
Yeah,
right?
Counterspell's active, right?
No. It's not Counterspell.
Hold on, let's take a look.
He didn't because we wanted him to take
Yeah,
the
we were
Counterspell, then
saying
he didn't.
No,
it's Summoning Ward.
Okay, yeah.
So he's going to have 3 carriers? We always say in StarCraft it's 4 carriers where it gets scary.
Four.
But honestly, in Hearthstone,
it's
one.
One, yeah.
In fact, the second one can barely get interceptors out. So I'm not sold on even more than 1 carrier on the board at a time, even though this looks cool.
So we're waiting to see how exactly Day9 is going to try to handle this next move. He does have a very affordable Immortal. He's got a 7 mana cost carrier. Innervate's
Wow.
available as well.
That's
so
true. Can
he's
he
got a
cast
lot of-
both?
He's got a lot of spell flexibility on how he could handle this from here. Yeah, I guess one way to think about it is, even though, with 2 carriers on the board, you can never have all the interceptors you want to get, you're never going to be stopped from having interceptors, right?
Yeah. I love how they just keep Divine Shielding their carriers, too.
It's crazy.
It makes everything so hard to kill.
Okay,
Come
interceptors
on,
are out.
One time.
Where?
Oh, well, he got rid of 1, but then Summoning Ward comes out. Wait a minute. Oh, no, he got rid of both, so he gets an intercept
what?
off of that. Oh,
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Okay, so
No wonder he was fist pumping. Like, what are you excited about?
So now it's going to be day 9 in the position where he's got the carriers. He can kind of try to ride this out as long as he possibly can. Again, swipe available. You could clear this out very easily with all these one-cost interceptors.
Okay, Dream Plan are going to come out, and well, I'm looking at this, right? You still have to be pretty darn careful here. Like, both of them are not at super high health at the moment.
Wow, Twisting Nether drawn here.
dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, especially
Whoa.
if he plays the Immortal next turn, because Day 9 has basically played almost all of his big cards.
Yeah, he's going to be out of big minion cards pretty soon here, and there's pretty much nothing you can do after that.
The thing is, this is how he plays Hearthstone. So, like, there's not, you know, like, that's just kind of, summon 3 6-cost minions. Oh, he waited on that cheese a long time. Very good. But, you know, that's, like, if he plays that Immortal and then Twisting Nether comes out, I don't know that there's any way for him to really win. He just has to go back into making, you know, Divine Shields on whatever he can.
Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. And I think basically Trump's going to hang on to that Twisting Nether as long as possible. That was like the ideal card to try to draw, specifically against the deck that he's fighting.
Yeah. Probably a Divine Shield coming down as well, I would guess.
Goes for the glyph. Trump probably just going to use this glyph, try to see what he can figure out. Blizzard's pretty nice. Summoning Ward could be a good one as well, but he goes with the Blizzard. I guess that makes sense. Between the Lightning and the Blizzard, I mean, you just got a lot of ways to completely wipe the board out. I feel like
the Lightning, the Blizzard, the Twisting Nether, like, he's got so much clear here. It's crazy.
Yeah, the more I look at this, I'm like, man, the removal that Trump has is kind of crazy.
We have a lot of spell damage over here, so that would help the swipe a lot.
Right.
Yeah, look at that. Gonna go ahead and swipe. Swipe to face for 6.
Yeah.
And that's gonna clear a bit. And with his interceptors coming out, Tasteless.
Oh, man.
I think that's it.
Oh, my God, and Trump's only
That's
at
it.
6 HP.
Day 9's gonna be the winner.
Oh, my God. He's going to be insufferable at dinner tonight.
He is going to be insufferable. Me and Trump are going back to the hotel.
That was a great series. You know, that Twisting Nether, we never got to use it. We were saying like a minute ago, like, oh, wow, Trump's got this. But no, great play there from Day 9. He wins it. He is your Hearthstone, StarCast, world champion?
World champion
Yes.
of these 2 players that we brought here today.
Yeah, this was fun. Shout outs to Blizzard for putting StarCraft and Hearthstone. I think they really killed it with how they implemented the units in the game. As someone who lives, eats, and breathes StarCraft, I can really see the work they put in how each unit plays out.
The flavor is immaculate, truly, and I think you got to see that in these games as well.
Yeah! Woo! Protoss wins!
I was supposed to have 4 carriers.
We are concluding the 5-game show match series between Trump and Day 9. Day 9 is our victor. It was a real back and forth. Congratulations, Sean. How was your experience playing in this show match?
Well, honestly, I didn't even realize I was down 1-2 because it was just so fun. Like all the interactions. Like honestly, especially the Zerg style decks where all the Zerg cards really depend on what the other Zerg creatures are doing on the battlefield. And every time I thought that I was about to lose, then I'd play Kerrigan. And Kerrigan is so good. Like that is the very first thing I'm doing when it goes live.
Trump, how about you? How was your experience playing?
Well, at least I'm glad that Terran is still #1. Terran was amazing. I loved building all of those spaceships, starships, and then constructing one, and then summoning another, and then using Raynor to summon another 3. Would have summoned 3 if there was space. That was incredible. I don't understand how I lost, given that I summoned 2 Colossus and summoned 2 carriers. I don't know how that's possible, but I guess this is what it takes to be a champ.
I mean, as it turns out, like in StarCraft 1 and in StarCraft 2, and now in the Hearthstone StarCraft expansion, Terran is by far the strongest, and that's really great news.
How dare you?
That's really
wrong.
Raynor is fuming over here.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I really know how to dig deep.
I do want to give you an idea here, Trump, about your future now as someone who's joined the I've lost to Day 9 and I don't know how it happened club. If you do want revenge, get it right away because he'll move on and that'll be it. The window will close.
Very good. All right. You and me. Again.
Yeah, I guess we'll start punching each other at dinner later.
Now, we got to watch you guys sit through there and play all those games. And it looked kind of fun. It looked like something I would enjoy, and I thought Artosis would enjoy too.
Are you perhaps setting up the next thing that's going to happen?
I am so setting up the next thing that's going to
face off
happen.
against Day 9 right
This
now.
is the actual match here. That was the appetizer. This is the main course. Artosis and me.
And we don't need 5 games.
We don't
We're
need
gonna
5
play best
games.
of 1, Terran versus Protoss.
If I beat Artosis, I will now be renamed as the 2013 BlizzCon champion. That's on the line right here, right now, best of 1. And it will be casted by Day 9 and Trump. Enjoy.
Oh, the pressure is off, and it's time for us to stop being players and become commentators. I'm Day 9. I'm joined by TrumpSC.
Well, hello. Good to join you. We get to watch the former casters be casted.
Man, look at that.
Dance.
Look at that set. Is that... We must look great in our games. That's
Awesome. I
incredible.
probably looked a bit agonized at some times. Agonized at losing with these awesome Protoss cards somehow. We've got Artosis showing his awesome Terran mulligan. You can play Paladin with Terran, and that looks like a really good starting hand.
Yeah, no, for those of you that don't know, Tasteless and Artosis, aka Nick and Dan, stream all the time on Twitch and are StarCraft 1 primarily streamers. And Artosis plays Terran on stream. Tasteless plays Protoss on stream. So we have the matchup that embodies who they are as people. In particular, Artosis hates Protoss players more than anything under the sun.
Oh, that's great. It looks like he's got the advantage to take out Tasteless here because he's got, I think the general idea of this Paladin deck is it summons a bunch of guys, a bunch of tokens. You can see the muster, the liftoff, the left starship piece. Those are going to form starships and be awesome. And Tasteless has a deck similar to a free-to-play Mage. A lot of AoE, which is good. But both of these decks can be built using just the Mini-Set purchase as well as some other free cards.
Yeah, I'm really interested in the way that Terran is playing out in all the varying classes. Obviously, having swarmy token-based Paladin decks has always been a staple of Paladin gameplay. And the Starship in the Great Dark Beyond, almost every list is running the Starship as a single big late-game power move. Maybe stacking Arcanite Defense Crystals to get 150 armor and eventually win with anything.
Yeah.
But I love that the new Terran mechanics discount the cost of launching starships, so you want to launch them more and more and more and more, and there's tons of go-wide benefits and buffs, and I'm really sort of curious, because you got a chance to look at this Terran Paladin list. Are there any like big key cards or big key plays that you're looking for?
It's probably about to come up. Artosis has that Ultra Capacitor on the left, and that is uniquely a starship piece, which has really good stats by itself. That is already a 2-mana 3/3 just based on what's on the board, but he can do even better. He's got the chance to play that card that rewards you for building a starship.
Oh, yeah.
The good old Yeti.
The Crystal Elder.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that turn 4 double Yeti I played against you?
I mean, there's one of those things where as a player I appreciated it, but as someone who was like on camera, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna look so dumb and bad if I lose. Fortunately, our games turned out to be pretty sweet.
Artosis going for the long game. Someone's a guy instead of a Yeti. Cool. And that starship piece, 2-mana 5/5. Incredible.
Oh, and look, eating 5 damage to the face. Look, Dan is working with Nick to bring Dan's life lower.
Yes, fortunately, though, Tasteless has a card that will perfectly deal with that.
Yeah.
That's so many of these cards, which get a random Protoss or get a random Terran or get a random Zerg, they really reward you playing with a good amount of these cards. So I think this mini set is going to have a lot of synergy with each other. As I noticed when you were playing Zerg.
Oh, it feels so good. So I selfishly only looked at my own decks because I'm a megalomaniac and I care only about my chances of victory. So I have not looked at the Tasteless Protoss list. I mean, obviously we see a bunch of AoE in the hand. We saw a Flame Strike in the mulligan, and I got the chance to get slapped by your Colossus multiple times in our games, both on and off camera. What's the sort of overall arc of the Tasteless list?
Tasteless's list has just the general, it's a generalist deck. The Protoss are Mage Protoss. Every flavor of Protoss is a bit different, but Protoss in general like to discount their Protoss cards, both spells and minions, with Mage Protoss being a little bit more emphasis on discounting the Mage spells. So he's got a bunch of spells, he's got some minions, and they're just generally efficient cards. It reminds me a lot of a generalist good free-to-play Mage. Way stronger than my old free-to-play Mage.
Yeah, I mean, like, I remember when Babbling Book was a mere 1/1 for 1.
Yes.
Now it's a 1/2. Things have really spiraled out of control.
Yes, that 3-mana card, the 3-mana Protoss card of deal 5 damage. Back in my day, that used to be 3-mana deal 4 in Shadow Bolt, but now you get to deal 5 and you get a Protoss card. That's incredible.
Now, I actually don't know the interaction here of the Crusader Aura, because it says the leftmost minion gets, +2/+1, but I assume
Whenever a
that
friendly minion attacks.
it's a friendly minion. Oh my gosh, I was confusing with the other Aura. Oh my god, amazing. Yeah, no,
so
I mean,
strong
this is...
in this deck. It's going to be general goal of the Paladin deck is just land anything and then have the aura go. And with that Starship piece, which gets +1/+1 for each minion on
so
play.
Gross.
Yeah, it gets real big. When you build that Starship also, like, you might just build it now because you're already getting +5/+5 on it. Since that effect triggers again when the Starship is summoned.
I mean, even looking at Tasteless's hand, he does have the double blizzard there. There's always the question of, okay,
Really good
how
line
greedy
here.
do I want to be? Yeah, no, this is terrific, being able to get the bonus armor that 1/3 creature says whenever you cast a spell.
Yep.
Gain armor equal to the mana cost, so just a good defensive play. But, to harken back to the early days when we played Hearthstone, having like 2 to 4 sweepers, you're set. You're never going to need to worry about someone going wide. But
Yeah, Tasteless has those 2 sweepers. The Blizzard, he's got another Blizzard follow-up.
oh my gosh.
But is it enough?
This, like, in general, in modern Hearthstone, it's way easier to refill the board, but playing against you earlier, the Terran lists are insane. I mean, you launch a Starship, it's summoning the Marines, you have all these cards that wind up letting you, I mean, obviously the Exodar being able to crew transport and refill your entire hand with inexpensive ship pieces. But then also the other reflood effects, Raynor popping down, dropping a bunch of Stim Marines.
Look at that value!
That's so gross.
That's value! What, he can play another Ultra Capacitor right now?
That seems pretty good. And this is literally what I was just talking about. Look, next turn, Nick can just go Blizzard.
Yeah, and that'll be cute.
And, okay, well, the entire board
I mean,
is...
good news for Nick. He runs Flame Strike in that deck. Good old Blizzard and Flame Strike. He's gonna go with the Calicos.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe he gets the Flame Strike. Ooh,
Oh, Infinitize the Maxitude.
that is some value.
Yeah, I mean,
He's gonna need that much value.
Yeah, Infinitize feels like the pick. Because, I mean, honestly, when I was playing against you, it was the Terran decks that I found the most difficult to play against. And when I was playing as Terran, that was the most consistently terrifying. I mean, I think you have to go Blizzard here because, of course,
It's good.
it's going to prevent any damage from kicking in. And you can also, that Warp Gate location, you can just keep stacking stacking the -3 cost, -3, and eventually get, like, a free carrier from just a single Warp Gate.
Yeah.
Something they should patch into StarCraft too.
In this case for Mage, he could, and that's what I was trying to do too, just keep using it when you draw the Colossus. It'll eventually cost 0, ideally. I'm not sure if that deck is running Colossus, unfortunately.
Colossus is a really good win condition. I mean, not only is it a useful sweeper, but you nearly annihilated me if it were not for some late game armor gain.
Mm-hmm. Tasteless is out of area of effect. You can still discover a few, you can draw a few, but Artosis just keeps on coming.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Look at Dan's expression. Look at Artosis' expression. He has too many options. He's trying to figure out any of the right lines, when frankly, I feel like there's like 10 different completely acceptable, completely reasonable lines. This was such a nasty play.
That was a huge Starship payoff. That just made all of those small minions.
God.
Yeah.
And he
was able to take
damage.
out Caligos with just a few 1-mana cards.
And he's going to play another SCV. I love that the SCV sounds overpowered right now. He's going to run out an SCV.
Oh, man. And if Tasteless clears this board, that next Starship is going to be so strong.
Artosis is so happy with himself.
Yeah.
He's having a great time.
Poor Tasteless. Do any of these cards even deal with half of these minions?
I mean, it's tough when Protoss is the most skill-intensive race
He's
of all
gotta
the
dig
three in
for it.
StarCraft. Digging through.
Oh, that doesn't look like much help.
I mean, the charge lot will be able to pick off the 10-3 Starship.
It's a good start.
I mean, you have Frostbolt to pick off the 7-3, but maybe we should save a freeze effect to lock down the Exodar.
Yeah, that's the
Void
classic
Ray?
combination. You got the discounted Void Ray. You get a 5/3 for effectively 0. Very nice. So this is going to be able to clear off 17 plus damage from the board.
Yeah, you can Void Ray straight into the Exodar and then ping it to pick it off,
Yep.
and then the charge lot and the Frostbolt can eliminate the other two larger minions, but you still got a 4/4.
25 damage off the table. Nice.
You still have 7 damage that's going to be going
Yeah.
straight to the dome, and immediately you can launch the Starship. And let's not forget, Crusader Aura is right there. I mean, salvage the bunker. It's going to let you go wide and refill again. Oh my gosh! I mean, these Terran Starship lists are insane.
They're real good. At least Tasteless was able to play those strong Protoss cards where for 4 you got a 3/4 and you drew another Protoss card. That's so strong. Back in Witchwood, you got a 3-mana 3/3 rush. So
In
that's really strong.
GVG, back before I needed to take Centrum Silver before my Hearthstone games. Yeah, I mean it's so amazing to me, honestly, that Frostbolt is just still a solid, scary card. Oh, this is an interesting line that Tasteless takes, where I was just keen to, I might lose my entire board, but I really want to eliminate those large threats. So now, there's 12 damage on the board instead of 7 damage on the board.
Yeah, he gets a bit more mana in return. He's
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to cast Infinitize for an odd number. That's unfortunately not possible.
Yeah.
He's got to discover as many cards as he can.
Another liftoff? Okay, video game. Yeah, Medevac coming down with his launch. It summons 2/2 Marines with taunt.
Yeah, how strong is this Starship right now? A 5/3 when launched deals 2 damage to all. Wow.
I mean, it's...
Gets buffed equal to the number of minions on the board. I'm glad you weren't running this Paladin deck.
Oh my gosh. No, this is brutal.
This is... Ow.
Oh my... I mean, this is gross. I mean, at this point, I think you just have to YOLO Infinitize out. Hey, well, there's a Flame Strike.
There we go. It's almost enough to kill these Starships.
I mean, how do you pull this one off? I mean, what even is the line? I'm no longer even looking at Artosis' cards. Like, this is all about trying to solve it. Listen, that's my brother there, for those of you that didn't know. I'm rooting for Tasteless. Absolute nepotism kicking into high gear here.
Well, surely you're going to have to play both of the shield charges first.
Yeah.
Shield batteries, rather.
Yeah,
so
shield battery
for
into shield battery.
2 mana, you can gain 12 armor and make the next Protoss spell cost less. Unfortunately, no real Protoss spells here that are going to be useful.
Oh, this is like... we were joking about no wrong lines for Artosis. There's almost no right lines for Tasteless here.
Yeah, so many big cards so fast.
Look at me!
Let me try to figure out what Tasteless is saying here. That's not fair. Artosis is like, yup, outskilled.
Yeah, no, look, Dan is absolutely giving himself full credit for this upcoming win. Man, I mean, I guess pick off, and is that... Yeah, I mean, you can cast that, and then you can go shield battery into shield battery, is that right?
Oh, he missed it. That would have been good.
Oh, he would have been able to stay alive.
That would have been good.
Well, I mean, he would have been able to stay alive for one
Yeah.
turn and then just be trying to discover his way out of the pickle.
You know, he almost ran Dan out of cards, though.
This is a
close.
real adult move to just play out your entire hand. Give Nick another turn. Come on, just end the turn. End the turn. Let's come on, just end the turn, Artosis. All right, can we cheat at least a little bit? Oh man, I mean, God, the refills on the Terran starship lists are incredible.
Yep, but almost ran him out.
Nick's expression is the exact same as my internal expression. I mean, we have 5 games that were recorded and a few more that were off stream. This set begs a lot of ideas, especially with you being able to have the Terran cards among multiple classes, and the Protoss cards among multiple classes.
Yeah, a ton of internal synergy, and each class is going to play it a bit differently. I like how we got to see this Paladin version of Terran, which rewards not just building a lot of starships, but rewards having a bunch of tokens so that your starship pieces go off of your many board pieces.
You are goated, Artosis.
Yeah.
I never got any minions. Nothing ever came to my hand. This is wrong.
It is a weak man who blames the deck. You have to take responsibility for your losses, Stasis.
This is fun, though. I like doing this.
Yeah,
this is
this was
better
good.
than casting.
Oh, yeah. Casting is for the
Let's
birds,
trick those
man.
guys into casting next time. We just do this the whole time.
Good game, Tasteless. I hope this loss doesn't feed too much into your imposter syndrome. I hope that we can continue to cast together.
I hate you. We're actually fighting right now. Like, this might be the last time we ever work together. I had no good cards.
Should have mulliganed.
I did mulligan.
Not correctly, apparently, Tasteless.
I hate this. GG Artosis. Honestly, though, this was a lot of fun. Excellent commentary, guys. Any closing thoughts before we wrap this all up?
I think you had no winning lines.
Thank
like
you.
that deck was out
Thank
of
you.
control, Dan. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's only as good as the pilot, my friend.
Oh, you know what? It's gonna be a great set. I'm glad you played Terran to finish it off. Terran is overpowered. Let's go.
Still have my main Zerg right here, just nearby.
We got the
Keeping
Protoss
me
symbol. I'm holding this, but now that I'm holding it, I'm like, I don't know which way is up or not, you know? I may be like a guy that's like pretending to read a book, but it's upside down. So I think this is how you hold the Protoss symbol upright. Guys, go check out the new StarCraft cards in Hearthstone. It's awesome. We really appreciate them showing love to our game. I love the uniqueness that each of the cards has and how it really does play into the way that the races play in StarCraft 1 and 2. And I guess that's it. Thank you for joining us, guys. We'll see you in another cast in some other game. I don't know. Bye-bye.
Yay. Good job.